It will do that on occasion.
Yeah. Uh, I'm indifferent about it. Much like
Indifferent?
I'm, much like I'm indifferent to the Bills.
That's fair. That'll Trent, you got anything on this?
I think it's a good trade for Buffalo. I mean, what were they going to do with that second round pick? Nobody will know, but most likely they're not going to get anybody that's any good because the Bills usually don't draft well. So for them to just get a player that's proven to be good and proven to play pretty well, I think it's a good trade.
I am I'm a little more in Trent's camp on this. I think it fills a need for Buffalo 1,000%. I know everyone's been clamoring for Buffalo to get a receiver, like in the Buffalo fan base for years. I think DJ Moore is a pretty guy to kind of slot in as wide receiver one. You need somebody there at the very least. And like Trent said, Buffalo hasn't been able to draft for shit. Brandon Beane has not been able to draft anything really, which got him promoted, by the way. So, failing upwards is certainly a thing you can do. A couple things as well before we move on from Buffalo. Dawson Knox resigns. Pretty decent move, keeping the tight end continuity when getting decent tight ends is kind of hard. You guys got any thoughts on Dawson Knox?
Dawson Knox is a pretty solid player. I mean, with the NFL, there's only maybe two or three really elite tight ends, and it kind of everybody kind of meshes the same. So I mean, it's a solid pickup. It's continuity. There's really not that much of a tight end market out there. I could see them going after like a Dallas Goedert type of situation.
Yeah.
One of the moves that they did have that I was I'm indifferent but kind of excited for is Bradley Chubb going to Buffalo.
I was just gonna say.
I do believe that with Joey Bosa, whether he stays or goes to the Niners with his brother Nick, I do feel like there's a little bit more upside with Bradley Chubb. But honestly, I think, like I said, Buffalo's always going to be a playoff team. It's just a matter of kind of like the Ravens, can their quarterbacks get it done in the playoffs? And until they show me, I'm kind of just like, I'm going to believe it when I see it with Buffalo.
Yeah. As somebody that did watch Bradley Chubb for a couple of seasons when he was a Denver Bronco, I think he is going to work out better on the contract that they signed him to if they keep Joey Bosa. To me, Chubb was always a really good Robin to a pass rushing Batman. He had his best seasons by far, I think, when he was running opposite Von Miller before Miller got traded. In the situation where Buffalo either keeps Joey Bosa or drafts a young pass rusher in the first round, say, I think he may. I think he has the chance to work out really well for Buffalo there. But yeah, you guys want to keep her pushing here? Go to our next AFC East team because there's a lot to talk about here.
I'm ready to go.
Miami. The Tua-less Miami Dolphins they've taken the Broncos record for the most dead cap in NFL history. The team that 70-20'd my squad has fallen off a cliff. They've hit rock bottom, and now they are trying to build their foundation back up. They have replaced Tua Tagovailoa, and this is the big headliner of really their entire offseason up to this point. Malik Willis, bit of a salvage project, had some good games under Matt LaFleur as the backup in Green Bay. Signs a 3-year deal with $45 million guaranteed. This is going to be fun, and I'm eager to hear your guys' thoughts about this. We'll circle back to Trent last once he comes back. No clue where he went. We'll shoot this one to Ender, though. I had you go first on the last one. So, Ender, the Malik Willis, what do you think?
With the Miami Dolphins, they've pretty much just ripped everything up and started back from the studs of building their team, and I'm indifferent to Malik Willis. I think it's a good deal. Anything's better than Tua at this point. I knew Tua's time was limited once he got benched.
That's I think a lot of people saw the writing on the wall once Quinn Ewers was starting to get starts. Trent, We'll kick this down to you. We are talking about Malik Willis going to the Miami Dolphins on a deal that guarantees him $45 million. How do you feel about the fit for Malik?
Well, he has ties with Lee and I think the GM. So I think that
Athlete?
it'll be Halfley. Yeah,
The head coach, Packers DC?
yeah, Packers DC. I was talking about. Didn't they get their like GM or like assistant GM to be their GM or something like that?
That much I'm not sure. That one I'd have to pull.
Well, we do know he has ties with Halfley. They still have Waddle and they still have Achane. I mean, that's still pretty good. Some pretty good weapons there.
I do think there is something to work with for Malik.
I mean, they got Tutu I think it's Atwell. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Tutu Atwell, yeah. And we were going to get to him as well.
Yeah. So I really don't know. He's an unproven quarterback. I need to see a little bit more from him. Yes, the usual suspects are here. Unfortunately, the dogs chewed up my wire to my laptop, so
Oh no.
yeah, so I've been dealing with that right now, so
Oh no.
it is what it is.
Oof.
All right.
Anthony, this is your guy, man. Malik Willis. Tell me about him. How is he gonna fit in Miami? How is he gonna do at South Beach?
All right, so I'm gonna throw y'all under the bus. We need some personality in here. We need some fire in there. You know, the dogs may be chewing up wires, but they ain't chewing up my attitude. So here's what I'm gonna do. With Malik Willis, it could go two either ways. He could be a really solid a mid-level starter. I do have a lot of faith in him. He's learned under Matt LaFleur. He played pretty decent. But when you have an offensive guru like Matt LaFleur, you're obviously going to succeed. But under that, I do see this going like a Mike Glennon type of situation. Mike Glennon got paid a lot of money. Didn't really perform. I do believe Malik Willis is more of a solid, like higher end backup compared to a starter that Miami desperately needs. They do have a running game to assist them, and they do have a number one receiver in Jalen Waddle. But like they're gonna they'll be the third place in the AFC East. They'll be better than the lowly Jets. But with Malik Willis, trust me, as a Titans fan, I hate when people say that, but as a Titans fan, seeing him with the first season, I do have a lot of faith in him, and I hope he succeeds because he is a great player. He has a lot of upside. It's just, can he put it together, and can Miami support him enough to get him to where he needs? I'm not too sure on that. I hope he succeeds, but I don't know, man. It could go the Mike Glennon way, but I have some faith in him.
When I think of recent terrible quarterback signings, like my mind goes to Nick Foles to the Jaguars, because that was a god awful contract, because he played 2 games, got hurt, never suited up for the Jacksonville Jaguars again. Pretty sure he retired after that, actually. So that was a kind of where my mind went, is that this could either turn out terribly for the Dolphins, and now suddenly they're still on the hook for that $45 million, and now that's a whole new quarterback conundrum, and now they're starting to spin the wheel like my Broncos were for years. What does give me some faith in Malik Willis, though, and I will kind of echo you on this, him being under one of these offensive gurus like Matt LaFleur, I think does wonders for him, because we have seen these quarterbacks go to these guru systems, work some things out, and then they go on to new teams, and suddenly they're reborn. Sam Darnold is the recent example of that success story, going from KOC with the Vikings to the Seahawks, where the offense was not going to be anything remotely the same, and now he's got a fucking ring on his finger. So now I think that my faith in I have a lot of faith in Malik Willis right now. I think he was a raw prospect coming out of Liberty. And I think he just needed a little bit more time than the Titans gave him in the oven. But I'm really excited to see what he does. Nothing else super as of note. We did mention Tutu Atwell, decent kind of wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 for, I want to say, the Rams last couple of years. Tutu's been a good little deep threat there. Greg Dulcich re-signs as well, which he he's had a weird career. He had like a really good rookie season in Denver and then was hurt for like 2 straight years, got cut, went to Miami, and he's just kind of been there. Nothing too crazy. Ben Sims, Jamari Sanders, like everyone was basically re-signings or just 1-year contracts. Josh Uche, though, does interest me a little bit. I am intrigued to see what Uche does now that he is with the Dolphins. The Pats, not a lot here, but some interesting signings. And I want to start this firstly with Elijah Vera Tucker. They're investing in that O-line. They're trying to protect Drake May. I think that was something that we could all agree was one of the biggest issues for the Pats last year was just the offensive line. I think that more or less confirms, though, that Will Campbell is still going to be playing the left side of the line, which, seeing how that went against some of the higher tier competition, unless he can develop that, which granted, left tackle is hard to play in the NFL, but I'm just interested to see where this goes. We'll wrap up to Anthony and we'll go around the horn here. Elijah Vera Tucker, what do you make of this?
So with Elijah Vera Tucker, he has a lot of upside. When he's on the field, he's one of the premier, I want to say, guards in the league. But he's had a lot of injury issues over the years. I think he had like a torn Achilles or torn ACL. But when he's on the field, he's a great player. He's one of the, I want to say, top 10 best guards in the league. I take that back. Maybe top 30 because I know there's 2 sides of it. But with Elijah Vera Tucker, as long as he can stay on the field and be healthy, I think this is a massive upgrade for the Patriots. But I don't know. It's one of the worst off-speed free agencies. People are going to overpay because they need players. They need a slight upgrades. But at the same point, how much is an upgrade? It all depends on his health. I would put this more of a C grade. It could go all the way up to a B plus. It could go all the way down towards an F because, like I said, his health has always been a huge concern in the NFL. Just ask the New York Jets. But hey, it's the New York Jets. Anybody who leaves there winds up being successful. So he might be the second coming of, I don't know, Larry Allen. Who knows?
No. Bold words. Bold words. Ender, Ender, what do you make of the AVT signing, my guy? What are you feeling here? Hot, cold, indifferent?
I'm okay with it. It's pieces to add to the line. Tucker, 6'5", 308, 5 years of experience under his belt from UCS. It's pieces to add to their line to protect their quarterback. Anything helps at this point for them.
100%. Trent, you got something to add?
I mean, he was on the Jets, and he's not on the Jets. I would say, like, anybody that leaves the Jets has already won their deal. And
yeah,
Elijah Vera Tucker will probably be pretty decent. All he has to do is play like a full season to be remotely better than what the Patriots had last year because, woof. Last year,
that was rough. Drake May, I believe, has been one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the National Football League over the past 2 seasons. Like, despite the offensive line's, mission here, he's not getting David Card. So, all the power to him.
That, and we've seen what happens with like a CJ Stroud who's hit too many times.
Yep.
The regression. So you don't want to see that from your quarterback. So hopefully, he is able to protect May.
100%. The other big one for the Pats as well, Green Bay wide receiver Romeo Doubs, a guy that was linked to a lot of football teams. I think for a minute there at the start of free agency, everyone thought this guy was going to be a San Francisco 49er. I think the reports were indicating that unless something went completely haywire, Romeo Doubs was going to be a San Francisco 49er. Now, I think he's a guy that can come in and be a consistent wide receiver too. That's more or less what he has been in this Green Bay room. So I will set you guys up with the numbers and I will let you guys kind of discuss this a little bit because he was one of the higher free agent wide receiver, the higher priority or profile wide receivers here. So he spent his whole career in Green Bay. Rookie season, rookie contract ended. Has never had under 400 yards. Had 425 his rookie year, and then since then has never had under 600. 674, 601, 724 this season on 55 receptions. Second highest in his career, second highest in career touchdowns as well. Going to the Pats, getting Drake May, a Stephon Diggs replacement. It is an objective downgrade. I think that is safe to say. But they did go out and they did fill that hole. What do you guys think here? I'll kind of let you guys talk amongst yourselves on this one here. Romeo Doubs, man, the contract as well. I can pull that up. 4-year, $70 million for Romeo Doubs. Let me hear it.
For that amount, he's a good wide receiver. It's something for Drake May to throw to. I mean, I honestly thought at the beginning of all this he was going to be a 49er, though.
I think that was the general consensus.
I think
100%.
it's a terrible signing.
Oh.
The guy can't stay healthy.
Throwing out the T word.
This guy can't stay healthy. I've never seen.
He does have an injury issue, though.
The guy is like one concussion away from being Tua.
Oh no.
I don't like it. I think Diggs is a better receiver even at his age.
Right.
I don't know why you would put a hat on a hat, get a number 2 receiver for a number 2 receiver, and it just doesn't make any sense why you would pay a guy $70 million for 4 years. A guy who can't stay healthy. This guy is basically a number 2.5 on most teams.
2.5.
Maybe a 3. I just don't trust him to stay healthy.
I think with it, a lot of it has to be with the talent pool being so low for this free agency. And at this point, the Patriots need people for May to throw to. And if Doubs can stay healthy, I believe they can get their $70 million's worth out of him. That's only if he can stay healthy and not end up injured and on injury reserve.
Anthony's been looking like he's been ready to blow a gasket up there, dude. Let it rip, man. Come on, let me hear this.
Holy overpay. I would even say this guy was a wide receiver 3 on his team. So I'm going to go down the list. And if, Miles, if you give me my stats guy, I'm going to go number 1.
Yeah, you are. You got to give me names in a second to pull them up, though.
Yeah, of course. Give me Jaden Reed. And I'm talking a little bit about Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed, before he was injured, was their number 1. Why Matthew Golden was, first round pick, learning the offense.
All right, so Jaden Reed, all right, I can give you. So 2023, 16 games played, 13 starts, 793, 8 touchdowns. 2024, 857 yards, 55 catches, 6 touchdowns. Last year, 7 games, 22 catches, 207, 1 touchdown. So that was before his injury.
Terrible. All right. Give me. All right. I got Matthew. All right. I got Christian Watson right here. 6'11". Right. I don't know how many games he played. I'm looking at it. Oh my gosh. This guy only played 1, 2, 3. I don't know. But he was injured. Christian Watson was injured for most of the season. Obviously,
I can give you the Christian Watson rundown too.
Yeah, give me the Christian Watson.
Listen. I type high words per minute, and I got Pro Football Reference on the ready. My guy, so 22 goes, 11 games started, 14 played, 41 catches, 611, 7 touchdowns. 23, 9 games, 422, 5 touchdowns on 28 catches. 24, 15 games, 620, 2 touchdowns, 29 catches. Almost putting up Alec Pierce numbers of reception efficiency right there. 2025, 10 games, 35 catches, 611 yards, 6 touchdowns.
All right. We know that Matthew Golden was kind of learning. Didn't get any touchdowns till the postseason, so we'll skip it there.
Okay.
Give me Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft.
So, if you really want to say, he was even wide receiver 4 for their team. So, holy overpay in a lowly class of wide receivers. Give me the stats.
Tucker Kraft, my friend, in 2023, his rookie season, played 17 games, all 17, started 8. 31 catches, 355, 2 touchdowns. 2024 broke out with 50 catches, 707 yards, and 7 touchdowns. 2025 in 8 games played still put up 32 catches for 489 yards and 6 touchdowns for the Green Bay mother-loving Packers.
So, and I gotta say this, I don't know what's more fake. That contract and his production, or that Bam Adebayo 83-point game. I mean, this is terrible. We are overpaying for a wide receiver and it's not. I wouldn't even say that. I don't know. Very terrible. I mean, there's a lot of interchangeable pieces in Green Bay. I do believe he has a chance to maybe hit 1,000 yards without, because realistically, Stephon Diggs isn't there. They don't have a dominant number 1 tight end, and I think they just got Hunter Henry. So he does have some upside to get over 1,000 yards, because realistically, who are they going to throw to? But even when A.J. Brown was on the Titans, how great he was, he barely eclipsed 1,000 yards. I want to know, he didn't even eclipse 1,000 yards with the Tennessee Titans under Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is a defensive mastermind who wants to run the ball and be as efficient as possible. So I don't really suspect that. I mean, realistically, okay, if I have Romeo Doubs, who's our number 1 receiver, and we got to go to the playoffs against PS2, who am I going to pick?
Now, hear me out. Now, hear me out here. I think the stock share for Kayshon Boutte just skyrocketed, like 1,000%. Watching some of the stuff that Kayshon Boutte did, I'm believing a little too much in him. But I really like what I've seen from Kayshon Boutte, especially over the 2025 season. He's not a super high volume guy. He has kind of been that wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 behind Diggs, but I think he's slowly been working up, just becoming more consistent. So this season, and again, injuries have been a little bit of a problem with him. He has missed some games, but 14 games, 551 yards on 33 catches, 6 touchdowns for him. That's a career high. I think your Kayshon Boutte stock goes up right now until we get to the draft, realistically. Maybe not super high, but we also could be looking at the Pats becoming the Packers here, where they just have a bunch of wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 kind of guys.
Yeah. If the Patriots wind up trading for A.J. Brown after June 1st, because the Eagles save a lot more money if they do that, then I would upgrade this to a C+, because that's what he is. He's a high-end level wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 4 for a team. And this is a good rule of thumb I learned as a Titans fan. Just because you have a lot of yards, not really, doesn't mean you're a good player. Look at Nick Westbrook-Akine on 2024 season. Had 600-700 yards, goes to Miami the next season, and now you can't find a team because you're the only person to throw to. Because the issue with Green Bay is their whole wide receiver room gets injured. They're like the 49ers with the Electro building, or whatever they called. Yeah, of course.
The substation.
Yeah, the substation. So obviously, when your wide receiver room is depleted, you're only throwing to I'm going to butcher his first name, Davion Wicks and Romeo Doubs. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of yards for a Mike, or whatever, one of the LaFleur's offense.
Matt LaFleur.
Yes, thank you.
I do believe $70 million probably is too much for Dobbs, but at this point, what type of wide receivers did we have on free agency for Patriots to select from?
Yeah, okay, to be fair, Pickens did get sniped off the market on day -5 with the franchise tag.
Pickens was sniped off.
No one's going to put up what Jerry wants for a trade for him.
I think Pierce was sniped off really quickly.
Yeah, Pierce was the first signing of day 1.
We'll say Pierce was sniped off immediately from by the Colts.
Yeah, it was not a good trade though. Signing.
All right, so we are going to speed up some things here, and I think we're just going to kind of touch on the biggest move that each team has made going forward, just for the sake of time, because we have done 3 teams, and we are 34 minutes into the stream. I guess I'm going to be a little extended because I did have the little bit going to start, but we're just going to touch kind of on every team's biggest move, and we'll speed things up. The Jets, good Lord, Geno's back after about a decade. Geno Smith The Raiders somehow talked the Jets into giving them a 6th-round pick. So it was Geno and a 7 that go to New York for a 6th-round pick in this year's draft.
The Raiders.
I mean, this was the biggest move by far of day 2 of free agency, at least for the start of things, because this is probably the highest profile quarterback to get moved in free agency, other than until Kyler Murray was moved. Oh my God, Ender, I can tell you're about to blow a fuse up there. Anthony's blown 5 already. Trent's over here giving me the stink eye.
I want to learn. I want to know how the Raiders managed to pawn Geno Smith off on the Jets, and how the Raiders sleep at night knowing they did this to the poor Jets.
They probably sleep damn good. Okay, shit. We'll round this. We'll go reverse horn here. Who did I pin first on the last one? Did I go Trent first or Anthony? Or okay, so we'll. All right, Trent. Geno to the Jets, buddy.
Well, Geno was writing back and he used his best quill. I don't know who's running the Jets. Is it?
It's Darren Mugie, former Broncos assistant general manager under George Payton.
You would.
They were showing now why they were assistant.
Really Woody Johnson as well, to be fair. Like Woody Johnson medals.
Former Broncos assistant GM.
Assistant general manager.
When did he sign with the Jets? Was it this year?
It was during last offseason, I want to say.
Okay, never mind. So he wasn't there whenever Geno was playing for the
no. Darren Mugie was a very, very recent development. Geno was drafted to the Jets in 2014.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying if he was on the Broncos in 2025, then he should have seen how Geno was playing on the Raiders. But I don't know how. The Jets seem to be the type of team that don't want to win. They seem like the type of team that just are okay being bad. They're okay.
Bottom dwellers.
Bottom dwelling. Okay with making the most brain dead moves.
The Jets is where mediocre quarterbacks go to die.
You know, it used to be a place where the journeyman actually went to have a decent season. Vinny Testaverde. There's another guy that I can't think of for some reason. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Even as recently as a decade ago, you had some okay quarterback play coming out of New York. Sanchez, his first couple of seasons. I know we dog on him now. Chad, yeah, that's the guy I couldn't think of. Good old Chad Pennington. The Jets have had some okay quarterbacks, and just in Sanchez and really Fitzpatrick for the mirage of a season where they went 10-6 and still miss the fucking playoffs.
I just need to know whoever in Jets front office in their head thought it was a good idea. Sure, let's pick up Geno Smith. We weren't shit enough, so let's go ahead and grab one of the worst quarterbacks of last season.
They work in reverse. The Jets do.
The Raiders were only a first draft pick for a reason.
The Jets are stuck, I think, in 2022.
All right,
if they're trading for Geno. Anthony, let's hear it, buddy.
So when we say, they've had some good quarterback decency help, it's like
they've had some decent quarterbacks in the 2000s.
That's like me saying, I got drinking the water from Mexico, but hey, at least I'm not in India water. This has been terrible. It's like putting makeup on a pig and calling it prom king. This is terrible. This guy, oh my gosh. And I'm so glad, TJ, you caught what I say. They wrote me off, but I didn't write back. Well, buddy, you just sent them a DM. You are absolutely terrible. The Las Vegas Raiders traded Geno Smith at a 7th-round pick to get a 6th-round pick back. That was what I call a fleece. They could get a draft pick, any draft pick, and it would be for 10 years away, and this was a holy overpay. leading in at turnovers in Seattle, going to Raiders, and hold on, I'm not done yet. Don't stop. It's my time. This is my time.
Let him cook.
This is terrible. They could draft my nephew. All brains. I mean, all bronze, no brains. Levi, and I love him to death. Hulk smash. But this guy, you're telling me he's been leading the league in turnovers for the last couple of years, and now he's gonna go to the lowly Jets? Dude, hey, they didn't get a turnover last year, but they're gonna lead again with them this year. Terrible, terrible, terrible. We all know they're gonna tank. It's the lowly Jets. You couldn't pay me enough to be a Jets fan, and terrible.
Now they can throw the most interceptions while not picking up any interceptions.
So you have to be a
It's a
special
formula to win.
You have to be a special kind of bad to get fleeced by the Raiders.
True.
This is the Raiders we're talking about. The Raiders who have been garbage for the better part of 25 years.
Basically the last 24 out of the last 26 seasons, or the last 22 out of 26.
Yeah. You got fleeced by the Raiders.
What this confirms to me is that the Raiders have no soul, and they decided to pawn off Geno Smith on the Jets because they couldn't make anything out of him.
Hey, you finally learned that the Raiders don't have a soul? You could be an AFC West team fan. I wanna push back on Anthony real quick. I will not tolerate any Chad Pennington slander here. All right. This guy managed to go 32-29. That's a winning record with the 2000 to 2007 New York Jets before they decided to joik themselves off and go sign fucking Brett Favre. Guy had some good years with the Jets. I will not tolerate the Chad Pennington slander.
They didn't go to the playoffs, didn't they?
How do you have an all-time great quarterback in Brett Favre and make him look average? You gotta be kidding me.
That's true.
With the New York Jets.
They actually started out. I do want to say they actually started out hot that year that Favre was there. I think in 08, 09, or 08. I think they started 8-3 and ended 9-7. So they collapsed.
He hurt his arm. He hurt his arm or something.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Well, he probably hurt his arm sending dick pics to girls and some shit. I don't know.
Another question about one of the Jets trade. They traded Micah Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, they traded for Minka Fitzpatrick.
And immediately a $40 million extension.
For the Jets defense, I don't hate it. I don't hate it for the Jets. I hate it for Minka. I despise it for Minka. But for the Jets, I didn't think it was the worst idea.
My thing with
I
that
think
is...
it gives them some stability at safety position, and they might actually get a fucking pick this year. Andre Sisco will join him and Dane Belton there as well.
He's not the same guy.
He's not the same guy, no, but I think he's still better than whatever they still had.
No, I'm talking. Who's that guy that all he could do was blitz?
Oh, blitz boy Jamal Adams?
Jamal Adams.
Terrible.
Poor dude is going from mediocrity with the Miami Dolphins to mediocrity with the Jets.
I would say.
You know what's funny is he had only ever played for two teams in his career, and he's been playing since 2018 because he started in Miami, got traded in 19 to the Steelers, has been a Steeler or was a Steeler for a good half decade, and then goes back to the Dolphins in the big year of 2025, and now he's a goddamn New York Jet. Unfortunate for the poor guy. So the Ravens we wouldn't have really talked a ton about if not for the Max Crosby switcheroo and then the signing of Trey Hendrickson to go out and immediately replace that presence. So what I want to preface this with is I don't think Trey Hendrickson can take over a game in the way Crosby can, because Crosby can take over a game without putting up a statistic. I think that is a pretty generic cold take there. What I will say, though, is that Hendrickson is still going to make a huge impact for a Ravens pass rush, and we were saying this when we thought the Crosby trade was actually happening. But this Ravens pass rush, the floor immediately goes up with a guy like Trey Hendrickson, and I have liked him before. We went to Trent first, and we've been going Trent, Anthony. We've been bouncing back. Ender, lead the way on this one. Trey Hendrickson, big contract to the Baltimore Ravens.
He's a good player. I don't think he was as good as Max Crosby. I still want to know what happened between the Ravens and Max Crosby for that trade to fall through like it did. I know they said he failed his physical, but this entire time Crosby's been saying he's perfectly fine. He's posted videos of himself online playing basketball on his supposedly injured knee. So something had to happen behind the scenes for this trade to fall through. But picking up Trey Henderson is a good deal.
Trent?
Oh, well, I could tell you what I think happened with the Max Crosby. They saw that they were losing a lot of players and saw that it was a big price tag, so they made up a phony story saying that, well, his knee is not as good as they thought. They've done it before.
They got buyer's remorse.
Got buyer's remorse.
Immediate buyer's remorse.
Dallas's doctor read up and say that he wasn't good to go. Trey Hendrickson doesn't do anything for me for the Ravens. You basically sold the farm. Like, they've lost too many players for them to be competing in 20.
Yeah, to be fair,
you don't even think it remotely raises the floor of that pass rush room? That pass rush was abysmal last season.
Well, yeah, but it's not. But you also have to think.
If you get the pass rush up and you're losing everyone else, what good's the pass rush?
Which is fair, but if you raise the floor of the pass rush, you do raise the floor of the defense.
How many games has Hendrickson played over the last 2 seasons?
Last 2 seasons, that's I want to give you 3 because 23 and 24, he played all 17 games back-to-back years, back-to-back 17.5 sack seasons. Last year, he was hurt, limited to 7 games, put up 4 sacks before he was pretty much wiped off the face of the earth for the season. But this is still a guy that you have gotten in back-to-back years this decade, 13.5 and 14 sack seasons, and then 2 straight 17.5 sack seasons as well. He is more of a premier pass rusher than he is a run defender. But even still, having a guy that can actually go out and get the quarterback is big for a Ravens team that is kind of rebuilding their defense right now.
I like him. I just don't think the Ravens are competing this year.
Oh, most definitely not, especially after losing almost everyone important.
Yeah. Anthony, you're smiling in the corner.
All I'm going to bring back to you guys is March 2006. The Miami Dolphins were in line to sign Drew Brees. They got scared. They got chicken feet on it, and they wound up trading a 2nd-round pick to get Dante Culpepper. And that has led lasting impacts on the Miami Dolphins. And believe me when I say this, you just signed Trey Hendrickson, who's had multiple injuries. The off seasons haven't been there because he's dealt with the cheap old Bengals, who's had back issues. The Ravens are going to regret this. He's Trey Hendricks on the other side of 30, and he's not the type of player like, I want to say, Myles Garrett or any of these, or Bobby Wagner, or anybody who is on the other side of 30 who's going to perform at a high level. Granted, he is with Jesse Minter, who's a great defensive coordinator, but you have
Trust me, I know all about Jesse Minter.
You had the opportunity to get an elite, not only pass rusher, but a run stuffer like Max Crosby. You got scared. And now they're going to pay for it. Scared money don't make money. And Ravens got scared, and I guarantee you the Raiders in 3 years will be better than the Baltimore Ravens. I'm saying it now because they got scared, and this is why they won't win the title. This is why but Kansas City still will own them year after year because they're scared to pull the trigger. They're scared. Scared to pull the trigger, and you know what? They're going to regret it because realistically, the offense needs help because Zay Flowers can only run east and west. Derrick Henry is the greatest running back of this generation. but he's getting older, and Lamar Jackson freezes in the postseason. Like Peyton Manning in the playoffs, he needed to be carried by this defense. Lamar Jackson is the same way. And you believe to tell me Trey Hendrickson over Max Crosby? I don't care how much you pay for it. 2 first rounders are 2 first rounders, even if you're picking at the late end of the draft. You don't say no to that, and this is why they won't win a Super Bowl.
With the Ravens stopping to deal with Max Crosby, I think that was a very dumb decision of them to do. They should have gone through with the Max Crosby trade. But even with Max Crosby, I still don't see the Ravens competing for a while because they have lost so much. It's going to take them a bit to rebuild what they need to get back into like the playoff mode and Super Bowl mode.
True. True. Let's move on. We're really gonna breeze over Cincinnati because they really didn't do anything.
Bengals.
Orlando Brown gets an extension. Yeah, Jonathan Allen comes over. I don't hate that signing.
Ooh,
I think Jonathan Allen's all right.
They got for when their players go to their practice field. That's what they got.
Oh wow, that's encouraging.
They still are doing jack all with Joe Burrow.
But tell me, can that crossing guard protect Joe Burrow?
No. It's Cincinnati.
Maybe you can protect him from getting hit by a car. You never know.
No,
I don't think so.
Much like Cincinnati, they'll still let him hit Joe Burrow.
True.
Oh, think of the insurance money we could get.
At this point, I think that's what they're trying to do with Joe Burrow. If they injure him enough, they'll get insurance money out of him.
What the Titans did.
Cleveland didn't do a whole lot of note either, although I do think they made a couple okay moves. Jack Stoll got, tight end 3. That's all right. Titus Howard in a trade from the Texans, which is, I think, pretty significant for them. Even though he is coming off of a pretty bad Texans O-line. I don't know that Titus Howard was really the liability on that offensive line. Maybe Anthony can tell me a little more about that because I don't watch a whole lot of AFC South football. But what, just kind of like brief summary here, like is Titus Howard an upgrade for Cleveland?
No, not really. If you think about what Cleveland lost, I want to say they're the only team to have ever lost all 5 starters to free agency. So, and having Titus Howard, I mean, when you have a terrible offensive line and you have any relevance of having a good player on the offensive line, they're going to be like, oh, that's an upgrade. But when you put them on a normal,
doing all right,
average offensive line, we'll see. I mean, Cleveland's going to Cleveland. Their offensive line, they lost all 5 starters. So even if they put an upgrade at whatever position he is in, you still have 4 other linemen that you got to cover. So realistically,
Cleveland went on a spending spree on the offensive line. Tevin Jenkins, they retain. Okay. Offensive guard. They go out and they sign Zion Johnson. 3 years, $49.5 million. Elkton Jenkins also comes over, $20 million guaranteed, 2-year deal. Okay. And though that is what they've done, that is probably going to be 4 of their starting 5 next season.
Not bad. Okay, when you put it that way, we'll see. I mean, like I said, the quarterback position is a big question mark. They got Shedeur Sanders, who is the most undeserving Pro Bowler I've ever seen. And they also got Mr. Massage himself, Massage Parlor Watson. And
True.
They got
Dylan Gabriel.
The future Falcons quarterback, Dylan Gabriel. So to round off,
Kevin Stefanski was so stubborn about keeping Dylan Gabriel in there until the end of the season, and he's finally like, you know what, fuck it, I'm probably getting fired. Let's throw Shedeur out there, and then let's not use him. Bonkers. Pittsburgh will kind of breeze over too. They made 2 like kind of big moves. Rico Dowdle signs with them. I think he's probably going to be the best running back on that roster. I really liked Rico last season. And then Michael Pittman traded from the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, I was going to say, Ender, you can tell me a little more about this. Pittman and a 7 in exchange for a 6th round pick. Tell us about Pittman.
He wasn't the best, but he was good. He's coming off a career-high 7 touchdowns last season. He received 80, got 784 yards, 7 touchdowns. 47. I think that's first downs on Pro Football Reference. Yeah. He was good. I do wish the Colts would have kept him, though.
That is fair. That is fair. Whoever is quarterback in Pittsburgh next season will have some weapons to throw to in the form of DK Metcalf. And I think he gets a really nice compliment in Michael Pittman. Anthony, you got any thoughts on this?
I think it's the most underrated move in all of free agency is Michael Pittman Jr. going to Steelers. I think it's honestly, if I had to put it, the best wide receiver move in all the NFL right now. I feel like Michael Pittman
I could
Jr.
agree with that.
Was a product of cap casualty, whether he should have been or not. I feel like he's a better receiver than Alec Pierce will ever be. So, as the same issues, I will continue to say this. If the Steelers were to get a competent quarterback, they would be a Super Bowl contender. And with Michael Pittman, how great he is, they need a quarterback so bad because you could have all the talent in the world, and if you got Geno Smith
They do have some problems to fix on that defense, though, and they did address that. But continue.
Yeah, and I mean they still got to fix the offensive line. That's something they got to fix. Their offensive line was very good last year, but I do feel like this team is taking the steps to be successful. It's pretty much what the Denver Broncos had to deal with, or what the Colts had to deal with after Peyton Manning retired, or Andrew Luck retired. They got the team, they just don't got a quarterback to help them. So I mean, it's great move.
And 2016, I would have given you that for the Broncos, but basically everything after that was a tire fire until 2024.
This trade, pretty much for me, it shows not much for the Steelers, but just the sheer incompetence that the Colts front office has right now, the disconnect that they have with the team. It shows how bad that Chris Ballard is right now with his disconnect. Pittman would have been great on the team right now. The fact we only traded him for a 6th round pick, or 7th round pick, that is an absolute travesty.
Or no, you guys got a 6 out of it.
A 6th?
You guys sent Pittman in a 7th and got a 6.
The fact we only got a 6th rounder out of him and nothing else, that's... I get it. It was to clear
wild.
up cap space. We're in cap space hell right now. It's just something we have to deal with. But only getting a 6th rounder out of him was just
diabolical.
Stupid.
Just to put it in perspective, last year the Steelers traded for DK Metcalf and got a 2nd round pick. This year, Bills traded for DJ Moore, got a 2nd round and got rid of a 2nd round. The Colts, the lowly Colts, traded him. Lowly Colts.
Now hang on here.
There's the AFC South trash talk we were ready for.
Lowly Colts.
Like, this is why the Colts.
You see in the background? That is 2 Lombardi trophies. 2 things your team doesn't have.
Hey, buddy, it's okay. You and I are going to Cancun together. So
At least I'm going to Cancun with Lombardi trophies.
Hey, buddy, you don't like the Steelers. You guys are almost there. Almost there. You guys are never good enough to go to prom, but at least you guys
At
were
least
able
we
to make it to
were
the
there.
Open. This is terrible. Terrible. And I got to say, you guys, until the Colts I don't think Shane Steichen is the problem. Until the Colts get rid of Chris Ballard, they will never...
100% the issue.
Hey, they agree. We made 2 AFC South fans agree on something.
But Carl, slowly, I remind you, we are the only Super Bowl winning team in the AFC South.
We're still talking about the AFC North.
I hate the AFC.
You and your Houston Oilers ass-looking uniforms.
You got the nice.
Before we move on to the AFC South, if you are new to any of our channels and you are watching this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps all of us out in the algorithm. Ender up here with Hoosier Sports Talk is just getting started with his sports journey there. So again, don't forget to show everybody in here some love. To catch everybody up as well, we are just kind of reacting to the biggest moves by each team so far. And for the sake of time, we are starting to kind of breeze through some of these because we haven't even gotten through we've gotten through half of the AFC. So let us keep it moving. The Texans, I feel like you could argue quite a bit they did. Traded for David Montgomery. I think that's a pretty good move considering I think Joe Mixon is dead. Maybe not dead, obviously, but dead to the world, dead to the NFL world right now. They re-signed EJ Speed, which I thought was a pretty good move. They get Reed Blankenship. So just kind of pick a move here that the Texans made that maybe you like, maybe you don't like, and let's just kind of keep her moving here. Trent, we'll go over to you here. Houston, what do you think?
Well, I like the David Montgomery trade. Thought that was a pretty good trade. Someone to run the ball with the other running backs that they have that are almost 30 or over 30. And
he's probably the best running back that they've had in a minute, though.
I think, he's the best guy since what? Was it like Arian Foster?
Arian Foster, Alfred Blue.
Alfred Blue, those guys.
Alfred Blue is one of my favorite pulls.
Did they have like a Dominic Davis back in the day or something like that?
Dare Agumbawale's gotten some snaps at not just kicker. He has played running back. Yeah, Alfred Blue is my favorite pull. Just because his last name is Blue.
I really don't know what to say. I think that was a good pick. Other than that, I just don't. Oh, Reed Blankenship. Supposedly he was a guy that was pressing towards the end of the last season. But okay moves. I don't really see them doing much next year.
My thing with
That's fair.
Houston right now, I like the Reed Blankenship move. I like their Montgomery pickup. The fact their kicker is now the highest paid kicker in the NFL, I'm not too sure on.
You don't like Jaime Fairbairn?
I don't like the Texans anyways. They cheated us. That was the worst officiated game I've ever seen.
The present, good sir. The present. Sorry, I just had to roll the R for dramatic effect.
Yeah, I don't mind many other pickups. It's mid, kind of like the Texans.
Miles, you want to go or you want me to go?
No, go ahead. I'm just playing host here, honestly.
The rich get richer on the defense. They are, I would say, the best defense in the NFL. They get better. My favorite move was actually the re-signing of Danielle Hunter. 1 year, $40 million. I think that's their best move they ever did. Reed Blankenship, he doesn't need to be a star like he was in Philadelphia. Philadelphia was kind of struggling in the back end, but when he goes to the Texans, he's going to thrive. The only reason why is because that front seven is so deadly and Texans, so he's going to be XL. The defense will be generational next year, and that's coming from a Titans fan. If I had to pick any team that I hate the most in the AFC South, it's the Texans, even though I hate the Jaguars, who are slightly below them. I don't got to worry about the Colts.
Wow, okay.
But I will say, though, the Texans can go as far as the decent defense. They remind me of the 2015, 2016 Denver Broncos defense. If you want to talk about generational, the Texans can be that. But as long as that offensive line can hold and CJ Stroud doesn't make that costly mistakes that he did last offseason, I can see them go one or two ways, either going all the way to the Super Bowl, and I pray that they don't, or it will be a Kyler Murray situation where they just trade him because this is the last year before the Texans have to re-sign CJ Stroud. They picked
or wouldn't they? They did pick up the 5th-year option. That's what I was wondering.
So this is a proven season to CJ Stroud. You did so great in your rookie season.
All good, buddy.
You hold on to that. Oh my God, I had a great rookie season. Is what have you done for me lately? You have a Super Bowl caliber roster right now. You put any competent quarterback into there, and they're going straight to the Super Bowl. I'm just really hoping, as a Titans fan, they do not go because this defense is scary.
Personally, I do want to clean up Trent, you did go. Yeah. I do want to clean up a couple of things with the Texans, and I am stalling a little bit now for time because Ender did bolt for a second, and his team is next on this list. I do like what they went and did on the offensive line, though. I think Braden Smith is a pretty decent tackle. I think Ed Ingram's a pretty decent guard as well. I think those are upgrades considering or Ingram was a re-signing. I think he's been okay. for them. But Braden Smith at tackle, I think, was a big go-get for them. As well as that, too. And again, the rich do just keep getting richer here. I like the Fairbairn signing, though. I think he's probably been one of, if not the most reliable kickers in the league in recent memory. He doesn't have the range as someone like a Cam Little. He's a little closer to Will Lutz in terms of kind of range for the most part, but I like the Fairbairn signing for them. I like the Montgomery trade for them as well, assuming they do a little more to kind of tweak this offensive line. Like I said, I do like the Braden Smith signing. I imagine they go running back in the draft as well because they have not had much at that position. It's almost the same issue the Broncos have had, which I will crash out about later. Trust me.
I'm back.
So are we doing AFC this week, or are we doing all the?
I think we should just do AFC the next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday we can do NFC, and we'll have we can kind of touch back up on the AFC as that develops. So what we had, okay, I put Kyler on the thumbnail though, so we will have to talk about Kyler. So Ender, your team's up here, Indianapolis. They've done some things. Anthony's yawning over there, but how do you feel personally about what the Colts have done with their offseason so far?
I like that they brought Jones and Pierce back. I do agree they overpaid overpaid.
That is $202 million between them combined.
Overpaid. I'm just gonna be honest. They severely overpaid for them, but
that is $144 million in combined guarantees.
To put it in perspective, Jones brought us to our first 8-2 season in a while. First time we won the first 3 games of our season. Colts are not known for winning their first opening games. Pierce received for about 1,000 yards last season. Actually, over 1,000 yards, 1,003 yards.
Hey, everyone!
So, there's obviously that connection between Jones and Pierce that is something's connecting there and making miracles happen.
Cool surprise for you.
That is fair. I'll let our other resident AFC South member go real quick. Anthony, talk some shit.
This was terrible. I would give this team actually a B if they were actually smart enough to go after Kyler Murray. But they went after a quarterback named Daniel Jones, who I will give it to the credit. When they went 8-2, it was a home run free agent signing. I was all on board with it. But since coming off an Achilles injury, historically, the first season back is always the worst. He's not going to go back. And I want to say go back, but being an average NFL quarterback, it was a terrible move, wholly overpay. I would have given him a 1-year deal. I want to give Daniel Jones' agent an A+ because how do you even do this? It's terrible. Alec Pierce.
If Jones's agent gets an A+, then I think Pierce gets an A++. I'll talk about kind of my quarrels with Pierce here in a sec. Go ahead.
Yeah, Alec Pierce is. I mean, he's gonna be okay. It all depends on the quarterback play. They're not so much. Here's the thing: if they can get competent quarterback play, then they'll be good. Because honestly, when they had competency there, Jonathan Taylor was the second coming of Walter Payton. Really great, really exceptional. I thought he was going to break the record this year, but once Daniel Jones went out, the Colts do what they normally do, and that's collapse. And to be honest,
well, to be fair, you can't just say it was Daniel Jones being taken out. It's our entire quarterback lineup that was taken out.
First, that's the Colts' fault, though.
How? Anthony Richardson lost a fight with the Resistance Band.
He wasn't doing much.
And he wasn't doing much to begin with. Point. Riley Leonard ended up with a knee injury.
Hey. Anthony Richardson can throw the prettiest goddamn 70-yard touchdown you've ever seen.
But can't throw 20 yards for shit.
He just can't throw the 5-yard slant.
Now, hold on. And this is... Okay, let me cook. Hold on.
How are you going to say we needed to pick up Kyle Murray He played, what, 5 games last year?
Hold on. So you want to tell me, we're in a playoff contention. We are the best team in the AFC South. Our quarterback just went down with an Achilles injury. Let me look at some different options they have, because I'm sure they did have some different options. Let me go to a quarterback who hasn't played in 4 years, Phillip Rivers, who this guy just re-upped on his insurance list because it was the last
I
season
remind
of
you
him
that
having insurance
44-year-old quarterback
by the NFL.
had the Seattle Seahawks on the ropes.
It don't mean this guy. Oh my! You guys went to Phillip Rivers. Maybe if you guys had a competent quarterback who maybe was off the bench for maybe 3 games, you guys went with Phillip Rivers. And trust me, I love seeing it because I'm a huge Phillip Rivers fan. But come on, this is why the Colts are going to Colts. They went for a 45-year-old quarterback in Phillip Rivers who. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I remind you, this 44-year-old quarterback took the Seattle Seahawks, the current defending Super Bowl champions, to the ropes.
They did.
So did my Titans
beat
too.
the Seahawks.
Hey, that's not saying much when my Titans almost took them to the brink too, but we all know we fired our coach 5 games in and we were running off nobody. So, I mean, realistically...
Daniel Jones, the 13 games he played last season, threw for 3,000 yards. He was a damn good quarterback in that short time.
Hold on.
Now, when he got injured, that is when shit started going downhill, and we started saying the New York Giants, Daniel Jones. You cannot fault us for grabbing someone who we already played for, who knows Shane Steichen's offense already, who knows the people there.
I mean, he was better than everyone. There was like no. What are you gonna go get Kaepernick?
Like, who do you want? Do you want us to call up Peyton Manning? See if he can sling the ball still?
Me personally, I would have ridden the Riley Leonard train.
Riley Leonard was injured.
I would have let.
Well, Leonard was injured.
Was he injured
Leonard
to start that out
injured.
after? That's right.
That's why they had to bring it.
Okay.
Literally in a string
I forget the arc of the Colts season. I read the cliff notes on the Colts season.
In a matter of because you heard me crashing out in your messages. We first lost Anthony Jones to losing a fight to a gym
Anthony Richardson.
Lost his fight to the Resistance Band. Went blind in one eye.
I don't even think. I think he was healed by that. I think that they just didn't start.
Even if he was healed, he can't throw slants for shit.
Just run a vertical spread scheme then.
We then lose.
I will say
we lose Daniel Jones to his injuries because he breaks his leg, still plays on it, then tears his Achilles. Then we lose Riley Leonard. I mean, who else were we going to go to? I heard rumors that they tried to ask Andrew Luck if he wanted to play.
Oh God!
I don't think that would work. Looks like a librarian.
He probably racked a shotgun on that phone call and told them, if you come within 1,000 miles of my current house, I am putting a bullet in you, bro.
So Andrew Luck looked like if just stiff breeze would blow him down the goddamn yard lines. He'd get sacked by a strong northerly wind.
He looks like a librarian.
We had no one else to go to but Phillip Rivers.
I mean, you could have gone for Kaepernick. Who else is there?
At this point, let's just unretire Charlie Whitehurst, okay? Let's just get clipboard Jesus in this bitch, and we can all worship at the church and back up fucking quarterbacks.
Anthony, what are you doing?
Just looking up stuff, just seeing what people have.
Do you want me to go check out Johnny Unitas's grave, see if he wanted to play for us?
To be honest, I wouldn't put it past the Colts to do it.
True.
That 44-year-old goddamn grandpa played his heart out in that field. Dadgummit.
He did.
If it wasn't for the Colts defense, they probably would have beat Francisco, in my opinion.
That is my main crash out right now. Our defense can't stop a goddamn nosebleed, and I don't know why.
They probably couldn't stop a door from closing.
He was playing good until that pick six, but because of the defense, he had to throw that pick six.
You know what happened? This guy's QBR rating was the 3rd worst in the league after the season was over in Phillip Rivers. Yeah.
Are
The
we?
main issue with the
I-
Colts was
Are,
our defense sucked. At the very beginning, before we signed fucking our new field goal kicker, we couldn't kick a field goal to save our goddamn life. Bagley.
Are you
we
still
are gonna
looking at
wrap the
people?
Colts. We are gonna wrap the Colts up here in a second here, and I'll touch on that defense. But finish your point. We'll let Anthony cook his last point, and then we'll move on.
Anthony is writing a script here.
I'm done with the Colts.
Brody's writing a whole episode. He's pulling his cock out.
Are you done?
The Colts, I'm looking at their moves and it doesn't move me. They do have Arden Key, who they took for the Titans. I do believe Arden Key is a serviceable defensive end. But Alec Pierce doesn't scare me. Overpay. Daniel Jones coming off an Achilles injury doesn't scare me. So they're gonna be. I will say they're gonna.
I don't mind the
worst
Derek.
team.
I don't mind the Derek Nottie signing for them though. They needed like a legitimate run stuffer. I think Derek Nottie can do that, and at the very least be a serviceable rotation piece. Colby Wooden as well in a trade from the Packers. They do give up Zaire Franklin. I think they're going to reset in a deep linebacker class. Maybe they go Anthony Hill in round 2.
I better not. They better not. That's my name. If I have any Anthony Hill on the Colts, I will change my last name.
Oh Lord.
I think
Colts.
the trades we did and the signings we have is serviceable. I do believe we overpaid for Pierce and Jones, but at the end of the day, we're reloading with basically what we had to start with.
I wanted to make my point on Alec Pierce because he was someone that was kind of linked to the Broncos over the offseason. And my thing with him is he is a pure deep threat receiver. And I think part of what got him a career high in targets this year, career high in yards, at like everything, is just that this offense was in the early parts of the season when they were running the ball well and when Daniel Jones was playing point guard when he wasn't hurt. They were humming, and Alec Pierce was a big part of that. My issue with Alec Pierce, though, is this is a guy that still has not had 50 catches in a season. And I fear that the drop-off for Alec Pierce is going to be ridiculously severe once that speed comes off. Like, once that speed starts to slip little by little, I can't think that Alec Pierce is, and maybe I could be wrong. Maybe he develops his game a little more. I just think that with these types of receivers, they have a very, very short peak.
Oh no.
I just want to say this is my last point, and this is why I really do think the Colts are going to be the worst team in the AFC South. Because we saw the drop-off of what happened when Daniel Jones went for injury, correct? We all saw that. And historically, I'm looking it up right now, performance. When players in their first season back see a 50% performance reduction their first season back after an Achilles injury. That's all I got to say. And I really hope Chris Ballard has some money saved up because he's going to need it because it was a stupid move. They didn't get any backup. I correct me if I'm wrong. They didn't get a backup quarterback to service Daniel Jones. Why not service him?
They're riding on Leonard.
I think
Leonard
what's
is the
happening
backup
is they
plan.
have Jones playing starter while Leonard learns and develops. Because we've seen how Leonard play. Leonard can ball out. Leonard can throw. It's just
They might want to see if they have. Right now, I look at Riley Leonard and I'm like, Trevor Siemian plus.
I would have honestly brought back Gardner Minshew. They had a better chance with him. They almost went to the playoffs. They went neck and neck to the Houston Texans a couple years ago.
Minshew was coming off of the ACL too, though.
yeah, I thought Minshew got injured towards the end of the season.
That's true.
Playing
All
as
right,
Mahomes' backup. But
Okay,
one last
let's,
thing on the AFC South. In terms of
well, we
performance,
still got 2 teams to go through.
in terms of performance, I do see the Colts either placing third, second if they're lucky. I see the Titans placing fourth. That's just how the Titans roll. I see the Texans being first, Jaguars, Colts, Titans.
Heard that. Heard
This is
that.
delusional as a GM.
Jacksonville, we're not going to really talk about because they haven't done any. No, we're done with the Colts.
I'm
we're
hoping
done.
we lose so we can fire. You shush for a second, you quarterback stealing team.
I am putting my goddamn foot down as the host. We are done with the Indianapolis Colts.
I remind you, you keep stealing our quarterbacks and winning Super Bowls with them.
Then win Super Bowls with them first.
We're trying. Ballard
Well, they did one with
sucks.
Manning.
Be better. Skill issue. The Jaguars did nothing. I did like them re-signing Monteric Brown, though.
Although if you could slip
I
Bo
will get-
Nix's number to Chris Ballard, that would be nice.
If you touch Bo Nix, I will commit arson on the entire state of Indiana.
Well, that's like 5 people.
I will pull out U.S. Pacific Front levels of firebombing in Indiana.
Well, judging how Broncos offseason went so far, I could see that happening.
Dove Valley might be first. Again,
Broncos
Jags did
trade Bo
nothing.
Nix.
Like I said, if I saw that headline, it'd be over.
I will get
All
the
right.
Jags.
All right, let's talk.
With one last thing with the Jags. I know we're going to skip over them. They actually made a smart move. I know Devin Lloyd, and they lost one other player. They were kind of smart not to really sign anybody to backfill because next year they will get, I want to say, a couple of extra picks, 1 3rd rounder.
Yeah, they'll get comp picks.
That was a huge move, and I was like,
I think that was their whole strategy.
really smart.
It's just not
move.
do anything.
I don't like the Jags, but I thought I gotta give them kudos when they're smart. Unlike the Colts GM.
No,
Last one.
okay. I was about to say, now I agree with you. I don't like the Jags either.
Is
Not about the Colts.
as it's as someone that watched a decent amount of Jaguars football near the end of the season, I do like them bringing back DJ Dallas. I think he's at least a decent kick returner. I really like them bringing back Monteric Brown. I think he was a really, really good nickel for them. And I don't know. I just like that. Anthony, you're going to get the lead here. And for the love of God, if we've done the AFC South infighting on the Colts. Okay, we still have a whole other division to get through. Let's keep the infighting brief here. Let's keep it to cheap, petty shots. Anthony, take the lead here on your Tennessee Titans. What was your favorite move?
I will say my favorite move was that whole defense. The whole defense was really getting John Franklin Myers huge.
JFM, I can personally endorse as a damn good player. He just played himself out of Denver's pocketbook.
Alontae Taylor, huge move for the Tennessee Titans. We all saw what Sauce Gardner was under Robert Saleh, and ever since Robert Saleh has left, he hasn't really been performing well. And this isn't a shot at the Colts, I promise.
Excuse me.
But Sauce Gardner is not what he used to be, and I gotta take a shot at the Colts. I'm so glad the Colts bit because he doesn't have he needs the support of a great scheme caller for defense. Alontae Taylor will be awesome. Having Cordell Flaunt from the Colts, not from the Colts, I'm sorry, Giants, come back. I'm looking at it like the defense as a whole, a huge move. I really do think that the Titans have the not sneaky, but one of the best free agency this year. I do feel like we overpaid a little bit with Wandale Robinson. I
like Wandale's trajectory. I actually really like Wandale's trajectory. He put up, I think, his first 1,000-yard season last year.
Yep, and the
second 1,000-yard season first.
First one, but 2 seasons in a row, he's had 140 targets and 93 catches in both seasons. I do think he's a serviceable number 2, a very good one. But we still need a number 1 receiver. What's his face?
I think Wandale is a vast improvement over Calvin Ridley.
Stonehands Ridley, I agree.
Stonehands Ridley.
I say with the defense, we're going to be killer. Robert Saleh, carried nobodies for the 49ers and made them a top 5 defense. So I know the Titans will have a top 5 defense this year with Robert Saleh. The only concern I have is that interior offensive line. We released Lloyd Cushenberry, and we haven't.
He was an okay center in Denver. You do add Austin Schlottman to replace at center, and then you get Cordell Volson as well.
Their backups, if anything, they don't inspire me. It concerns me a lot. But we saw what happened with the Patriots, who didn't really have the best offensive line, and see how far they went. I'm not saying the Titans are going to go that far. I got it, but I do see it as the ceiling going to the playoffs. I really like the moves that the Titans made. We still have $50 million in cap space, so we can still make some moves. But I really
playoffs.
The ceiling's the playoffs for the Titans. To quote me on
the
it.
Ceiling.
The ceiling is the playoffs.
How many wins do you think represents that ceiling? 10 at most?
I say 10. If I want to say the last,
they will be playing a last place schedule. I do want to play devil's advocate a little bit here for Trent and Ender. They will be playing a last place schedule. Keep that in mind.
Hold on. Just to back it up, Cam Ward had an 8-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio in the last 10 games of his season. He played like a top 5 quarterback. Cam Ward, and going to him from year 1 to year 2, having a competent offensive coordinator, Brian Dable. Some coaches aren't made to be head coaches, but we looked and saw what happened with McDaniels in Patriot land. We saw the potential in Drake May year 1. He just had Gerard Mayo and whatever the hell that was. And from year 1 to year 2, they went to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying the Titans are going to do that, but he was a runner-up in MVP conversation. And we know Cam Ward's a superstar. If you don't look at the stats, because the stats don't tell you what I've seen as a Titans fan, watching every single game and going through misery. This guy is a superstar. He's top 5, he's a superstar, and I believe it, and I see it, and the way he played in the last 10 games when he was throwing to nobodies, literally nobody's and no offensive line.
Plumbers and electricians.
And running around and making so many moves, escaping the pocket, literally breaking sacks and throwing to people and them dropping the ball. If you want to talk about abysmal, it was that Titans offensive line and receiving core last year. They dropped the ball so bad, and I do believe with the Titans, their ceiling, they won't win the division because the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans have a lot more stock and they are a lot more favorable. But with the Titans, I guarantee you their ceiling is, I want to say, the second seed in the AFC South and possibly going to the playoffs. But their floor is the third division, because I don't see, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to predict the
third in the division, damn.
Like third to, I want to say, second. They are really good. They are upcoming. Give them one more year, and the Titans are on the come up because they're going to roll over their cap. They have $50 million in cap space right now. They only need to maybe spend $20 million of it, roll over that next $30 to $20 million to next free agency where they'll be a little bit better. They're going to cash out on it. I'm hoping in the draft they select either Ruben Bain Jr. or Jeremiah Love. And trust me, the Titans will come back. The last 2 times they did a rebrand, when they went from Houston Oilers to the Tennessee Titans, they went to the Super Bowl. When they did the last jersey rebrand in 2018, the same year they went to the AFC Championship. This is the 3rd time in a row things repeat itself, like the Seattle Seahawks. The last 2 times the Pope changed, they went to the Super Bowl. Every time the Titans rebrand,
that's
they're going to the playoffs.
Poll.
Trust me. And I'm not saying it as a biased Titans fan. I've seen the way they played and the way Robert Saleh has been on the defensive side and the way Brian Dable has been on the offensive side. They made Daniel Jones look really good and took him to the playoffs. They always had the help on offense, but the defense was terrible. And now he has Robert Saleh, and Robert Saleh has Brian Dable. Trust me, the Titans are here. They're going to make the playoffs. Every year, there's always a team that goes from worst to first. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I will give away whatever. I will put, you know what? I'll put money where I will give a signed jersey. I got to figure out which one. I'm willing to put it. The Titans go worst to first.
That's crazy.
I'm willing to put a signed jersey up.
All right. So you got to give it away if they don't worst to first.
You got to give it to Ender.
No. I'm just joking.
Lordy.
I will give to one of the channels. We'll do a raffle from Miles to Hilltime Sports to Ender Games and Music City Air. We'll do a raffle if the Titans don't do it. I will put a signed jersey up.
All right. You guys got anything on Tennessee? Trent, Ender, you
Ender?
I'm gonna put my bias aside. I think the Titans did pretty damn good on this offseason. I do see the Titans
Absolutely.
doing. I don't see them doing too well because, as usual, it takes a couple years for a team to fully get in motion.
Well, and especially where Tennessee is like coming out of the first stage of a rebuild here. That kind of stage one, get your quarterback figured out.
Yeah, much
Stage
like the
two, maybe now
Broncos
they've
did with their rebuild.
Yeah.
Do I see them going from worst to first this upcoming season? No. But I see them placing either third due to their strength of schedule because, again, they're coming off a last place schedule. They're going to be playing pretty weak teams because of their last place schedule.
Anthony,
So, go ahead, TJ.
if the Titans are eliminated by the time the end of the season happens, you have to wear a Colts jersey to one of the shows.
Bet.
If the
I like
Titans
that.
go worst to first, I will get my VTuber put in Titans uniform.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see the whole. Okay, here's a bet. If the Titans don't make the playoffs, I will wear a Colts jersey. And I'll wear Peyton Manning because he's my least favorite Colt of all time because he's caused so many misery for us. But if my Titans go to the playoffs and the Colts don't, I want to see all your animation to be Titans. And I want to see the Titans hat. And I want you to put in the banner back there because the Titans don't got no banners. Is the Titans own the Colts?
Imagine not having a banner.
We got AFC titles pre 1965.
We got 2 Super Bowl banners and 3 AFC Championship banners, but
yeah.
So I think
All
that's
right.
and I will auction off that jersey after that show.
But with the Titans, I do see them if they can get their feet underneath them and actually get going. I see them being somewhat good. My issue right now is if they are good this upcoming season, is it really the talent or their strength of schedule? Are they the Miami? Will they be the Miami, Ohio of football?
It will really depend, on how this season goes, because again, like if they do succeed to a certain degree, they're going to be facing the same questions that the Pats were all season that they're going to have to answer for next season, playing that first place schedule. And these will be my final thoughts on the Titans. I agree that I thought they have that they had just a really, really outstanding free agency period. My favorite signing in spirit is Kiss and Titties Trubisky. Just in spirit. Trent, you got anything on the Titans before we move on?
I actually think they had probably one of the best free agencies out of all the teams. I mean, they had a bunch of money to spend. I think they're a running back away from competing in the AFC South. They could get that in the draft. They'll be pretty good. They still need a number one receiver. They don't have that.
My final thought with this is they need to prove that even with strength of schedule, that they can compete. Are they going to be the Miami, Ohio of football and fail the first time they get any real pressure put against them?
That's true.
That is fair.
Say too, just to sum it up last year too, the Titans had, I want to say, like the third hardest schedule last year. And I want to say in the start of the season, we did put the Broncos. You
guys did put us on the ropes.
And the Los Angeles Rams put them on the ropes. The Seattle Seahawks put them on the ropes. We had competence. Our quarterback's competent. Well, good for you. You also tore your Achilles, too. I'm just kidding. But with the Titans, I'm going to go off their schedule because I know we're running off of time. The Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Cleveland, New York Jets, the Eagles, Steelers, Washington Commanders. Then they play the Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore, Dallas, Detroit, the Raiders, and the Giants. So I can easily see us doubling our wins. Like I said, I do believe our floor is the third.
Would that be 4 to 8?
Yeah.
So
4
I
wins this
do-
year, 8 wins next year.
Yeah, no, we have 3 wins this year, so it'd be
So
I can see
three
it-
to three to 6.
I can see us going 6 and I want to say 6-11, but I
Yep.
do see the Titans getting more than that. I do believe we are exceptionally a better team, and the Colts got to figure it out. We're gonna beat them. I know we'll get one of that. We'll get 7. I think we'll beat the Jacksonville, and I think we'll get one on Houston. I can see us easily going 8-9, anywhere from 8-9 to 10-7.
I just want
Fair
to
enough.
respond to that whole we're going to beat Indianapolis. I remind you that Indiana teams do well as the underdog.
Oh,
All right.
all right.
All right.
Well, now the
right.
AFC West.
We got one division to go, and I get to briefly crash out
I'm
about my
excited for
Denver
this crash
Broncos.
out. I've seen this
well, we've
crash
already
out live.
we already did 2 streams of me just straight up and up crashing out on the do nothing Denver Broncos.
I wouldn't say
because
do nothing.
my
I would
God.
call them the erase everything Denver Broncos because that's what they're seeming to do is try to erase everything they've done.
So here's what I like right now. I like the Stranad re-signing. I actually really was rooting for Justin Stranad to come back because I think he was I think he's a kind of under the radar guy at the linebacker position, and he has slowly gotten better since he came into the league in 2020. Started more as a special teamer and has slowly worked his way into starting snaps, and I think he's earned it. I think he is by far right now, but for sure the best linebacker on the team that we have any real film on. And then my real, I mean, Adam Prentice came back. We re-signed our fullback, which I don't mind. I really did like Adam Prentice in short yardage situations and kind of playing that third down back role of just pass pro. Sam Ehlinger came back. I didn't mind that. I was okay with that. He's an all right kind of fringe backup sort of guy. Where you start to lose me is Adam Troutman on 3 years, $17 fucking million. Okay, Adam Troutman, a guy that puts up tight end 3 numbers every year as our tight end 2, tight end 1. Really depends on the year that you look at. Hasn't done shit. He is not nearly the blocker he says he is. And it is just mind-boggling to watch this team lie to the fan base and say that we're gonna be opportunistically aggressive, guys. We were in on ETN. We were in on all these guys. Who the fuck are any of them? Any! And then you go in, you re-sign Lil Jordan Humphrey, okay? A guy that contributed to the drop issues that you had as a team last year. A guy that was on the practice squad of the New York Giants this past season before Denver went and picked him up because he's a Sean Payton guy. And then the ultimate sin, the one that made me go back live on Monday, Alex Singleton. Alex motherfucking Singleton. And this is keeping him as a person out because I have a lot of respect for Alex Singleton as a person. But Alex Singleton as a linebacker, just as a linebacker, has been so limited. And he was an improvement when we brought him in initially. Alex Singleton was an improvement. But he has had one of the higher missed tackle rates in the NFL over the past couple of seasons. And he can't play in pass coverage. Every offensive coordinator it essentially can game plan the Denver Broncos on how do we attack Alex Singleton? How do we attack the weakest part of this? How do we exploit a gaping fucking crater in the middle of the field? Travis Kelce is probably going to go for 400 yards in 2 combined games because A, he just plays up against the Broncos, and B, Alex Singleton ain't covering that guy. All right? Pat Surtain's or Jahdae Barron is going to have to pull fucking double duty right there. Because we have had to designate a defensive back to stop tight ends because we can't fucking figure out how to do it with our linebackers that are on the team. And Alex Singleton ain't going to fucking fix that. I can tell you that right fucking now.
The fact you kept Singleton and got rid of Greenlaw is what pisses me off the most about the Broncos right now. Why would you keep Singleton? Get rid of Greenlaw. I'm speechless.
Well, and then the thing that pissed me off about the Greenlaw one too is you cut a guy that is historically injury prone, even if he can play at a high level, but then the hypocrisy to go back and then bring back J.K. Dobbins, a guy who has never played a full season in his career. Like he is
higher price tag.
they both have the same problem where they're super good when they're healthy, but they can't stay healthy.
My main issue,
and I wanted one more year with Dre.
My main issue with the Broncos offseason right now is they did nothing to address the issues that they had. And they
did nothing to get better, and they let guys walk. JFM priced himself out. PJ Locke, I really don't know why they let him go. I thought he was
Broncos have only regressed on every position. They haven't done anything to actually help Bo Nix, who is in the prime of his life, in the window for the Broncos to get a Super Bowl championship. Bo Nix
100%.
needs people that can catch the ball and hold on to the ball and not drop the ball. So why are we bringing back someone who is dropping balls?
I think we actually brought in Willie Snead as a coach. So
What about Troutman?
Whoopee.
You're in the window.
Troutman is not that guy.
You're in the window now for your Super Bowl championship, and you're doing
the
everything
mismanagement
possible.
of the offseason so far has probably slammed it shut for a year.
So you're doing
if
everything
not
in
more.
your power. This front office is doing to take that window and fucking slam it shut and lock it with a 10-year padlock.
It was the weakest year in the AFC and the year where they really could have taken advantage, and they have done nothing to address what nearly got them killed in the Buffalo game, and then what was ultimately their demise in the AFC title game. They did not address running back in the way that it should have been. I think they should have gone out and gotten either an ETN or potentially even a guy like Tyler Algier. Would have been something that the Broncos have really been missing. Just a big battering ram to shove up the middle for 3-4 yards, and a guy that scores red zone touchdowns. This and I said this in that second live when Alex Singleton got re-signed. This is not how you manage a Super Bowl window if you think you were a contender.
How I see this is, I made this comparison earlier with the Colts. This is the most disconnected I've seen a front office from its team and its needs. It feels like the front office does not know what this team needs to get to the Super Bowl. And inside the Super Bowl window, when they have the chance to go to the Super Bowl and win it, they were real Super Bowl contenders during this last season. They have taken everything and pretty much thrown it out the window and said, you know what, we don't want to win a Super Bowl.
Run it back.
They pretty much...
Trent, what do you got? Hey, we'll come back to you, Andrew. My bad.
I think it's a wait and see type of thing. Did the news look good? No, but we still have the draft. I mean,
Go ahead.
the draft is the make or break for good teams.
That's the thing now though, is Denver has to nail it. Like they can't really afford to miss on any of their day 1 or 2 picks. It feels like now.
Well, the problem with them
But-
now
and
is
they are-
they're so late in the draft.
And they're like what it told me is that they are really banking on the development of some of these guys that they have. They're really banking on RJ Harvey taking a year 2 jump, which, judging how he was running last year, I don't know. He's a good receiving back. That's what he does well, but I don't know that you're going to like really get that ceiling between the tackles that you're banking on. They're banking on Troy Franklin to take a year 3 jump, which I do see is a little more realistic. And they're banking on Pat Bryan to take a year 2 jump. I just there was no immediate, like, there was no urgency to actually go address anything.
There's some good receivers in the draft.
There are. I just don't know what Denver's going to do in the first round, though.
It feels like
Anthony's trying to get me to simmer down up there.
I'll give you some hope. I think you're overreacting a little bit. You guys didn't really have that much cash space to really maneuver too much. Like I said, John Franklin Myers, a huge loss. Just seeing him, what he did to Justin Herbert, to that offensive guard last year, where he just obliterated him, that sold me right there. But I do got to say, pump the brakes. It's not a bad thing to see that, hey, we need a running back. It's not that bad of a thing to say, yeah. But, like, realistically, running backs are a dime a dozen. You guys did great with J.K. Dobbins, and he's not really that great of a running back. And
and that's my thing though. Is like J.K. is a really talented running back. He just can't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He just cannot stay healthy. And part of what really pissed me off about Denver's free agency was their complacency to bring back what is more or less a known defensive liability and make absolutely no effort to get better at that position when there were options on the table.
So I'm going to say this too. So I'm looking at the Broncos' needs. Their biggest one, high priority running back. They could get that in the draft. They could get a decent. I want to say Mike Washington. I can't remember where he's from. Killed it. He's going to be a star. Tight end. Realistically, you guys could get a tight end. You guys, there's still Dallas Goedert out there who could be serviceable for you guys. There's David Njoku, who you guys could still get. Wide receiver, and I honestly see the Broncos taking Mekhi Lemon. They're saying that Mekhi Lemon has attitude problems, he's kind of a diva, but I'm sorry, I like that in a receiver. I like somebody who isn't going to code switch on who he's talking to. So I do like Mekhi Lemon on that. I feel like he has potential to be an Amon-Ra St. Brown. Inside linebacker, this is the deepest as far as inside linebackers go in the draft. So, like, realistically, there isn't a big hole, and I'm looking at it. Running back, there wasn't any great running backs in free agency. Tight end, you guys could still do something. Wide receiver, you guys are so lucky you guys didn't overpay on Alec Pierce or anybody else. The only difference I would say is, like, man, you guys should have gotten Michael Pittman with that 6th-round pick. And offensive line, I mean, you guys just need depth there. I really do think you guys are still one of the best teams. And with the Chiefs, their defense getting way worse. I mean, realistically, you guys are here to stay.
And that is true. I just think a lot of the frustration is, and not to speak for the fan base as a whole, but just from what I've seen. And you are probably right. Like, pump the brakes a little bit because there is still the draft. They could still make moves. It just felt like, though, that, like, with the window this wide open, being as close as we were last year, with obvious improvements to be made to the roster, the thing was, though, is, like, Quinn Miners got his deal restructured that freed up $11 million in cap space, and I think we just restructured somebody else too. I think it was Jonathan Cooper that got restructured. To take that money, because I think we still had, like, top half cap space in the NFL. Fourth? Or no?
You guys have $22 million. You guys are, like, top 10.
Yeah. But, like, even then, like, I still feel like they could have gone out and at least tried. And that was kind of another thing too, is like, and maybe it just didn't seem like they tried, because again, like I was talking to somebody in my chat about this here, like that's why I was so quiet while you were talking. I think that there were improvements that they could have got out and made that they simply did not, that they just stood pat on. And again, you know, maybe I was getting a little too crash out about it, but just the initial reaction on that is like, for a team that was so close to not go out and address obvious needs, when this is already a team that doesn't really play rookies that much, especially on the defensive side of the ball, when you go out and you just do nothing, when you had those obvious holes, it just feels like complacency. And where everyone is moving and getting better, it just, to me, and again, this does come with my biases, obviously, but it just felt like that the front office did not even try. They just said, you know what, we got a couple of plays away from a Super Bowl last season. Let's run it back. And I just don't think in a league like this that changes as much as it does year to year, you can't go without at least addressing what ails you when you have the money to do so.
See, that was
the Broncos went Walmart shopping.
That's my main issue with Broncos right now is you got so close to the Super Bowl. You were in the AFC Championship game. You were about to go to the Super Bowl, and you lost in the AFC Championship game because your issues you had issues that showed through. And it feels like they looked at that game, looked at the issues you guys had, and threw that list out the window and didn't decide to pick on any of it. You know,
To me, it feels like the front office basically just went and said, "Hey, we lost only because Bo Nix was hurt." When there were vast issues that were really affecting this team. I like the loss of Bo Nix is mitigated in that game if Denver finds any way to run the ball consistently
it feels like to me
with
that
whoever's on that roster.
the main issues that the Broncos needed to fix was getting someone that Bo Nix can throw to without dropping the ball, getting the run game up and going strong. And they didn't address any of that in the offseason so far. And they're a late round pick in the draft, so by the time they get ready to pick, most of the good
Number
picks
30.
are going to be gone. I'm
No,
hoping
and
they can pick up.
Sinbin brings up a really good point too in my chat. If you're not improving, you're regressing.
Yeah.
That's true.
For me, I hope they could pick up someone like Omar Cooper Jr. for wide receiver. I think he could be someone good for the Broncos.
I think I said this talking with Kodiak that if Omar Cooper falls, you have to take him. Like, you have to pull that trigger.
Omar Cooper Jr. is a damn good wide receiver. He played really damn good for the fucking Indiana Hoosiers.
Outstanding.
I was gonna say
I've said my piece on the Broncos this week and on this stream. Anthony had something. Finish up your point, Ender, and then we'll kind of get around to everybody.
I think in this offseason, if the Broncos need to regain this offseason, what they need to do in the draft is pick up really good to bring up running and pick up a good wide receiver like Omar Cooper Jr. And they can regain some respect for this offseason. Because so far this offseason has been abysmal and not of a Super Bowl caliber team.
What were you thinking, Anthony?
Like I said, I'm not worried about the Denver Broncos. Like, I'm really not. And the reason why I'm not really worried about them is I'm looking at I'm predicting now they're gonna win the trade deadline this year. They do have $22 million of cap space, but you do got to realize, even though they got to save money for the draft, so they can't spend all of it because they got to sign their players for who they draft. And also, too, I'm looking at projecting. This is just what ifs. I do see the Jets at the trade deadline trading somebody on like Breece Hall, and I could totally see the Denver Broncos taking it up. And there's so many. Realistically, defensive tackles are dime a dozen. There's John Franklin Myers is elite. He I want to say top 5 in pressure, and I gotta look it up. But he
was
top
damn
5.
good though. Like, even
Damn
just
good.
the eye test, damn good.
Yeah. So, and I'm looking at it, man. I don't know. They were a broken ankle away from going to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, if Bo Nix doesn't break his ankle, they're going to the Super Bowl.
100%.
And I still am buying the hype on them. There's really nobody in the AFC that scares me. And the Chiefs, yeah, they have draft picks, but they're not going to be great next year. Chargers, I say it's Chargers, and I don't trust Justin Herbert. And Baltimore doesn't scare me. Buffalo doesn't scare me. New England's going to fall off a cliff. You guys, I'm sorry, you guys are still the best team in the AFC. I wouldn't stress about it too much because you guys are going to do great. The biggest needs you guys need is linebacker, but you guys are so there. I guarantee you, Drake Greenlaw is somebody who is always injured. You guys had to get rid of him, and getting a linebacker in the draft. You guys trust me. You guys are going to go to the Super Bowl. You guys aren't going to win it because the Rams are building the Infinity Gauntlet. Excuse me, sorry about that. Yeah, I wouldn't stress about it. Denver is here to stay. You guys got to make money to draft players in the draft. You guys are still early, and I think you guys will be behind. You guys are going to be the best team in the AFC next year.
Do I see the Broncos
I hope
regressing
so.
much? No, but the thing is, you can't bring up Greenlaw's injuries, but then bring back Dobbins.
But running back, but realistically, who else was out there in free agency that they could replace equal value with J.K. Dobbins? At least I know with 8 games, I'll have great games from J.K. Dobbins. You guys have R.J. Harvey, who's coming off a second season. He's going to be better. You take another running back in the draft. you guys see what
I think maybe like
happened
a Mike Washington is kind of a
Mike
guy I've had
Washington.
my eye on.
Yeah.
Comes to my issue is in the AFC game, you're the best team in the AFC right now. One broken ankle should not have run the Broncos that far down. The problem is when your backup doesn't have anyone he can throw to because they keep dropping the ball. They did their backup no favors by having no one to throw to. And it feels
the second half of that game was.
You know what though? It was Stidham's fault at the end of the day. He made that bad whatever throw. They were up. Weren't they? They were up.
Yeah, that was a 7-3 ball game. Or no, it might have been a 7-0 ball game. Yeah.
It was 7-0. Patriots weren't gonna score at all.
They handed him the ball in the red zone.
That was the only time the Patriots had a chance to do anything. They got the field.
Yeah, they got the field goal later in the game, but that's it.
We've seen Blizzard games before. Like, they're not high scoring games. All the Broncos had to do was not turn the ball over.
They did it twice.
Yes.
Because Stidham threw a pick later in that game too, trying to throw a jump ball to Marvin Mims.
That was on Stidham.
That was pretty stupid of Stidham to do.
Because if you just punt that ball away, they're not going to score. Patriots couldn't score anything except for that one touchdown.
I don't see this is my final stand on it. I don't see the Broncos regressing much. I still see them being a top tier threat in the AFC. It's just I find it irritating that they have these issues that they can see. They know they have these issues, and so far it seems like they've done nothing to fix said issues.
Well, a lot of people said that about the Kellen signing offensive coordinator. They didn't like it. They hated it. And then he goes on to help win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I've said my piece. For the sake of time, unless we've got anything pressing, we've got 3 teams left here, and then I did want to talk about Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
So let's keep this moving a little bit. Yeah, yep. Chiefs, Kenneth Walker, I think is the big one. They have needed consistency in the running game. 3 years worth up to $45 million, 28.7 guaranteed. What do you guys make? He had a hell of a postseason. I will throw that out.
Another
Just
guy
kind of
for
Cliff
Andy
Notes
Reid.
thoughts.
Another guy for Andy Reid to forget about.
True. He doesn't run the ball.
No.
Ender?
The Chiefs are one of the teams I'm indifferent to. I don't pay much attention to them.
K9 to KC, Super Bowl MVP to pair up with Mahomes when he's off the ACL tear.
Poor Travis Kelce needs to. I don't know if he's resigning because he needs more money to play.
He is. 1 year, $12 million. That has a max value of 15.
I think he's resigning because he needs to pay for the wedding with Taylor Swift.
Anthony, what do you got on KC, buddy?
Free agency. Their defense has way too many holes. They got rid of their whole cornerbacks and their whole safety room. Their back end's so terrible. They need offensive line. Chris Jones ain't getting any younger. Travis Kelce ain't getting any younger.
That's a damn fact.
I will say they're the biggest losers right now in free agency. They got rid of everybody. Granted, they did get draft picks, so just
they will get comp picks. They were in cap hell though.
So just to keep it just on free agency, they were the biggest losers. They lost a lot of players. They upgraded at running back with Kenneth Walker. We all saw that they were possibly going to get a running back, whether it was Kenneth Walker or Travis Etienne.
Etienne. You're thinking of Devin Etienne. Travis Etienne. Or Trevor Etienne.
Travis.
Is it Travis?
Etienne.
Yeah. He actually told everyone that everyone's been saying his name.
Yeah, it's Etienne. Just cleared it up today.
Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne. Okay. Anyways.
I
Had to
do
get my-
see the
Had to get that sorted out.
Yeah, he was like,
what I see this, they're gonna not perform very well this year. I think with Pat Mahomes coming off a really bad ACL injury, give it one more season, they'll be back to competing, but they're one of the biggest losers because they lost their whole secondary.
Say more than likely, I don't know who they're going to roll in with to start the season at quarterback. Like Mahomes was saying, he wants to come back week 1, but not off a late season ACL tear. He's not. No way.
Oladukin.
Yeah, I was going to say Chris Oladukin would be hypothetically.
I'm looking at it.
Maybe
for
they
free
can
agent
contact
moves.
44-year-old Philip Rivers.
Oh boy. Sonny
Philip
Jurgensen?
just does an insurance tour.
And with their receiving core, I think Xavier Worthy was a huge miss.
I don't think highly of Casey's receiving core.
Rashid Rice might be suspended due to domestic violence stuff. Travis Kelce is a former shell of what he used to be. Kenneth Walker he's good, but at the same time, we all know what he does with running backs. And it's just that defense. Can we trust a quarterback coming off a torn ACL and having them drop 30, 35 plus? I don't think so. What he reminds me of is the Dallas Cowboys of last year.
Kansas City is the epitome of buying a Lamborghini and just letting it sit in the driveway when it comes to the
Not
running
doing
backs.
any. Yeah. or that one meme where like some dude's got a Lambo parked outside of which nothing against trailer homes at all, but like the Lambo parked outside of like the manufactured house. That's what I always think of.
It's just, why pick him up? Why give him that big of a deal if you're going to do nothing with him? Because you don't run the ball. You do nothing but pass. Which
I think it'll be a smart move. I think this is what they needed. You guys got to look at what they had in the backfield. They didn't really have it.
Nothing.
Isaiah Pacheco wasn't it. Kareem Hunt's old. And before that, they had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who wasn't nothing. And so you got to think about it. Long term, I think the Chiefs made the right decision getting Kenneth Walker, especially off kind of the quarterback with the torn ACL, to at least alleviate some of that pressure off him. But it's that defense, man. And you have nobody, and I think Steve Bagnolo took a step back as a play caller last year. So I see him on the decline. The same thing with Andy Reid. I think it's getting old.
With all respect to Andy Reid, I do think his time is limited now. I think he's on the verge of needing to retire to get the Kansas City Chiefs back to where they need to be. It's just, if the Kansas City Chiefs can use the running backs they have and actually use their run game, which Andy Reid seems to never want to do, they can compete even with Mahomes injured.
Well, that's what got him run out of Philadelphia, wasn't it? Was just
never running the ball.
You shady.
I mean, it's complicated.
That's fair. That's fair. I do.
You can only
we
throw
do have
the
the
ball
Resident
so
Evil
much.
fan here.
I mean, when you think about like who McNabb was throwing to for most of his career, like the Todd Pinkstons, the James Thrashes, the Greg Lewises.
Say, best guy he ever had was T.O. for a couple of years, wasn't it?
For one season.
One season.
And they went to the Super Bowl.
Oy.
And then you had a young Deshaun Jackson, like for a season.
Young D-Jax.
But
that's a fun highlight reel to watch. Deshaun Jackson.
I mean, they had Brian West. When you have Brian Westbrook as your leading receiver of all time with McNabb, you know there's
That's
a problem.
crazy. That's crazy.
I think McNabb belongs in the Hall just for the dreck he was carrying around. I mean, he took that offense to the NFC Championship time.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
Move on.
Kansas City. Is that what I'm talking about? Kansas City?
We were on the Chiefs. If you have any last points on him before we move on.
Not really. Let's get the show on the road.
Yeah. Raiders did some stuff. Raiders, I don't think that they were taking huge swings for like top tier talent. I think they understand where they are. I certainly think though that the Raiders 100% raised the floor of the team with some of the guys they brought in. Because you get Tyler Linderbaum is kind of the headliner there. There's your center for the next forever. For a bit. Although, of course, you will hear that, well, hey, if he was let go by his team or whatever, if he hit the free agent market, there's probably a reason. I think Linderbaum is a really solid center. Jalen Naylor, kind of meh for the receiver room, but he'll add as a weapon, hypothetically, allegedly. I do like what they did at linebacker, though, because they doubled up. They got Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker. And I think those are two. I think those are going to be two great guys in the middle there for the Raiders. Trent, you're going to be able to tell me more about Nakobe Dean than anything. What do you make of Dean?
He is lightning in a bottle. When he's healthy, he is that good. He can make plays everywhere. It's the problem that he just isn't a healthy guy.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of why the Eagles didn't bring him back, and that's just why Eagles didn't bring him back, because he can't stay on the field. I mean, he missed time last year. He missed time in 2024. I'm not really worried about losing him. I think he'll give you like 8 solid games, and then he'll be on the shelf again.
So the J.K. Dobbins of linebackers.
Basically.
It feels like the Raiders are building around Fernando Mendoza. It feels like the Raiders are building to get him comfortable and keep him protected, which is what they need to do. But
and you don't get rid of Geno Smith.
That's the problem I have there. Is you need someone to put there to help Fernando develop.
You need to put someone in harm's way so the rookie doesn't die.
Because if you're building your team around Fernando and making him your starter day one, I fear for Fernando's safety.
I do too. The Raiders are they've been so bad. I mean, I don't even think you guys have witnessed a great Raiders team. Like a great Raiders.
That 2016 team was pretty damn good. Until Derek Carr. Derek Carr was playing MVP football that season, and I think those Raiders could have gone on a run. I really think those Raiders were so good.
Early 2000s Raiders were a different monster.
Okay, who was coaching them? That was Gruden. That was Rich Gannon.
That was the defense. That was like, who was Crockett? Was their fullback, right? Crockett.
Mm-hmm.
You had
Tim Brown. You had Jerry Rice.
Right.
You had offensive line. You guys had a scary defense. The Raiders are good, and just to sum it up with the Raiders, I think this is a great stepping stone for the Raiders to really see them the way they pour the money in free agency. They're not going to be great this year, but they are setting a solid foundation to bring in Fernando Mendoza and actually giving them a competent online. I still think Ashton Genty is a great running back. They have Brock Bowers.
Bowers is a weapon.
I don't see the Raiders. I still see them being the worst in the AFC West, but this is a solid stepping stone. Next season, they can draft a receiver like Jeremiah Smith. Next year's drafts is loaded with wide receivers. A huge stepping stone for the Raiders. I believe last year they were trying to retool and not pulling the trigger fast enough for a rebuild. And I
think they thought they were better than they actually were in the front office.
The thing is,
bringing in Pete Carroll last year was like hey, let's go win this thing now, and it completely imploded.
I mean, when you have Josh McDaniels as a coach, that sets you back years.
I can confirm.
I'm just waiting for the Raiders to somehow manage to Raider it up and mess up something.
And you guys also got to realize, too, last year the reason why they went with Pete Carroll is because they put all their chips in hopefully getting Ben Johnson. and the Chicago Bears at the end stealing him away. So they put all their eggs in one basket, and they had to go with something competent, and they went with old man Pete Carroll and the worst offensive coordinator, head coach you want to think of in Chip Kelly. So, like, yeah, they went terrible, but I really do think they know what they're doing. It's just they were really trying to retool. And I would say their best free agent move was actually keeping Max Crosby. With that defense, adding or keeping Max Crosby, I think that defense is going to be competitive. It's just that offense is going to need so
The
much
problem
help.
is Crosby doesn't want to be there. You can't make someone play
He's
good
already
if they don't want
committed.
to be there.
He
He's
wants to be
already
there.
committed. He wants to be
Yeah.
there. He's committed, and trust me, if you want to talk about a guy who just wants to compete, Max Crosby doesn't have an attitude problem. He just wants to win, and I guarantee you, is a lifelong Raider. He just got frustrated towards the end because they told him you don't tell a lion to not hunt. At
Yeah,
the end,
My thing
You
with the
know-
Raiders is much like a Carson Beck interception. It's not if they screw it up, it's when they screw it up.
That's
I'm
great.
rooting for the Raiders.
I'm
I'm
rooting for them.
tired.
I hope they
I'm
do
not.
good because
I'm not, for obvious reasons. I hope they
Yeah.
I hope they Raider this 6 ways to Sunday.
I have a soft spot because they're going to end up with Mendoza. Now, if that's how they end up raidering this up and not picking Mendoza, then I have no sorry for them.
Yeah, they're gonna pick Mendoza. The reason why we root for Raiders around here is obviously the California tie.
Yep.
We have
Yeah.
I have no beef with Raiders.
Here's
The
no
only reason
quarrels
I'm
with the
rooting
Raiders.
for Raiders is they're going to end up with our quarterback.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, if they
TJ and I
raider
don't
it
like
up.
to punch down. Yeah, TJ and I don't like to punch down unless
Fucking
it's the
Ty
Colts.
Simpson.
I don't even like to punch down on the Dallas Cowboys. Like, I will never say anything bad about Dallas. and
It'd
their
be even
fans.
better if the Raiders end up somehow taking Carson Beck.
Oh Lord. All right, last team that we're gonna talk about, and then I promised someone that we would talk about Kyler Murray, so
Oh boy.
we'll get there. The Chargers have kind of been a little quiet, though. They have done a couple of things. They get offensive guard Cole Strange. They get Tyler Biatz, which I think is a pretty solid move considering how bad that offensive line was last season. After both of their starting tackles got hurt in Slater and Joe Alt. They also signed Tier Tart to an extension, which is big for them because I watched a good chunk of Chargers football last year. Tier Tart's pretty damn good. Matt comes back. Dalvin Tomlinson they bring in. They bring back their linebacking core, which I like some of the guys on that linebacking core. We can probably breeze over this because there is a good chunk of running back with the Chargers, but for the most part, I think the Chargers are just kind of, they did a few things, but nothing too crazy. But what do you guys think? We'll go up to Anthony on this one. Started out.
They addressed their offensive line, which is their biggest need. They kind of like with the. They remind me of the Colts with a lot more retooling. They're just running it back through what they have. They addressed their interior offensive lines. That was the biggest issue. But they're in a win now mode. The Denver Broncos and the Chargers do see blood in the water with the Chiefs, so they know this is the time to attack. It's just a matter of can they get it done in the playoffs? Can Justin Herbert really live up to the hype that everybody says how great he is?
Hey, Bo Nix has more playoff wins than Justin Herbert.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's a retool. They address their interior offensive line. They have draft picks. That's all a matter of what they could do.
Fair enough. Ender, Trent, anything on the Chargers?
They did what they needed to do to fix their issues. I see them being a playoff contender. They fixed the
Can
issues
they
they
sign-
needed to fix.
Can they win in the playoffs now?
Can
is the
they
question.
sign 53 other linemen?
I don't know if the NFL cap allows for that.
They need a receiver. That's what they desperately need is a receiver.
I think that's probably where the Chargers are going to go in the draft because they didn't sign anyone at receiver either. Like no Kendrick Bourne, no Juwan Jennings, nothing. I think they go receiver.
Are those guys all still on the free agent market?
Yeah, Jawan Jennings is most likely going to go to the Titans.
I thought Kendrick Bourne got sniped by the Cards.
Yeah, they did, and he got sniped by the Cardinals.
Where's is Goddard going back to Philly?
No, he's not going back to Philly. So I can see the Chargers. To be honest, I see the Ravens signing Stephon Diggs. I either see him going to Baltimore or back to the Patriots. I don't see the Chargers making any more moves as far as wide receivers go. I do think they're going to attack to the draft. I do see him getting rid of Quentin Johnston because he can't catch for nothing. Like I said, they just need a receiver. Keenan Allen's old. Lad McConkey's a slot receiver. You need somebody. You need a number 1 and a 2 for Justin Herbert. They have a tight end. They don't have a tight end. Yeah, I mean, they do need weapons.
They do.
Before we move on to Kyle Murray, I do have one thing I want to bring up. I think it's only fair we get to talk about one more team before Kyle Murray. If Trenton wants to talk about the Eagles.
Yeah, that's fair. Trent. You're the one team that got left out of this video, man.
Oh, we haven't done. I don't.
Ebikady? Reek Woolen?
Oh,
Reek Woolen. If we get like Reek Woolen from like 3 years ago that doesn't taunt the Los Angeles Rams sideline and could actually cover, that's cool. But like he's in a Vic Fangio offense. He plays like how he did at the tail end of his Seattle career. He ain't gonna last long. I really we haven't done much.
What about
so
how do you feel about the Jordan Davis contract extension?
65 million guaranteed.
I like Jordan Davis. I think Jordan Davis is better too. Between Jalen, he's also more healthy. I think we're gonna sign Jalen Carter eventually. I think the biggest move that we've made is getting an offensive coordinator. That's the biggest move that the Eagles could have done. Honestly,
Looking at transactions and stuff that they did, it looks like the Eagles are focusing on like tight ends and cornerbacks.
Basically, yeah, that's what they're trying to do. To be honest, I have a lot more fun talking the whole NFL than I do talking about money. And so, like, I haven't really been like.
We can't leave you out, though. All three of us have gotten to talk about our AFC teams. We can't leave you.
I felt bad for not letting you get at least a chance to discuss your team.
They haven't done much. I'm indifferent on what they've done. Jordan Davis that was an obvious signing. I would like them to get Goddard back. I like him, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I would be pretty happy if Denver went and signed Goddard, but considering we've signed our entire tight end room from last year, sans Lucas Kroll, I doubt it.
I hope they go tackle in the draft. I think this is Lane Johnson's season.
Probably. He's been in the league a long time.
We act like these guys are old, but they're my age. So
in NFL terms, they're dinosaurs.
Yeah, but like, not really. They haven't really done much that I can like sink my teeth in.
I just felt like you should at least get the chance to discuss yours.
100%.
If the Titans fan gets a chance to discuss this team because this is the first time they've done something in a while, then you should get to discuss yours.
Oh, Lord.
Are you guys talking about my NES games?
We were discussing the NES games because someone brought up that they liked the old school TV in there, Dawn in my chat. And then I was like, Trent set up like as cool as hell. He's got like the NES games on the shelf too, and then
Super Nintendo.
Him and are they SNES games?
No, I got NES here and then SNES right here.
Oh, okay. See, even better. All right, last thing that we're gonna touch on for this episode. We've been going a while. You guys are troopers.
I'm tired.
Kyler freaking fracking Murray going to the Vikings on the vet minimum, 1.3 million. He's getting a bunch of money from the Cardinals, so the Cardinals are giving him the whole Russell Wilson treatment of we're paying you to actively not be here. I think he immediately slots in as the starter. I think the question remains, though, is can he do the whole KOC quarterback rehab arc, and what does this mean for JJ McCarthy?
I'll go first, I guess. Let's see. I think Dr. JJ is gonna have to sit a couple years. I don't think he's still what, like 21? Gonna be 22?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like he's still young.
They act like it's over for him, but I just think this is a 1-year deal. Let JJ marinate for one more season. I don't even think
put him back in the oven.
I don't even think Kyler even finishes the season, to be honest.
As the starter or with the team?
Starter. I think he gets hurt.
I just don't. Don said that JJ's 23.
23. He's still young.
Yeah. Well, Darnold was really young when he came in too. Darnold's still in his 20s.
Yeah.
I think with Kyler, it's his time is limited. He's starting to get up there in terms of quarterback age.
29.
He's 28, turning 29. Yeah.
It's not too bad. But with his style of play, I don't even. He's only finished the season once, right?
I can give you a definitive answer.
He played 17 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that feels like the only time he's done.
Yeah, that's the only time he's played 17 games. Well, no, 2019 and 2020, he played 16 games.
Yeah, he did play the full 16 game schedule, 14 and 21, and then that was the last time that he was a Pro Bowler even. His high-end touchdown since 2021 was the 21 that he put up in 24.
His worst season so far has been 2025, which he's only played 5 games of.
Yeah, 6 touchdowns, 3 picks. Still almost had 1,000 yards.
He's not Darnold. He doesn't have the talent that Darnold.
You don't think so?
What did he end up getting injured with?
I don't remember.
Or did they just shut him down? I think they just shut him down.
I think they did just like
him.
Yeah.
I just don't
handed the keys to
talent
Brissett
or the drive to be an NFL quarterback.
I just don't. I think this is pretty much the end of his career in the NFL. Maybe he has a career elsewhere, maybe the UFL or the CFL. I just think his time in the NFL is done.
Anthony, what say you on the subject, buddy?
I think if they could go 9-8 with JJ McCarthy and Carson Wentz, I think you guys are undercutting the potential of Kyler Murray. They didn't really have a great offensive coordinator. They fired a lot of their offensive coordinators within the past 2 seasons in Arizona. I think Kevin O'Connell is an offensive guru. I do think them coming back. I understand you guys are giving JJ McCarthy a lot more credit than he deserves. He's really bad. If you watched him to the game, how do you have an all-time great receiver in Justin Jefferson, and you can't even get him the ball?
Said maybe he could go to the MLB.
Exactly.
Kyler.
JJ McCarthy is not
play in the MLB?
Yeah.
He got drafted by the A's.
Yeah,
number 9.
Listen, I don't pay much attention to the
he never
MLB.
played. No, he never played for him, but I'm pretty sure the A's. I'm pretty sure the A's spent a 1st-round pick on him.
They said he could come back if he wants. He could go to the team. But I think with Kyler Murray, he's going to excel. I do see him maybe come back next year.
I am very excited to see him with Jay Jettas. I think that's going to be... Because honestly, right now, like the way I look at it is that Jay Jettas is what everyone thought MHJ was going to be. Like at this point in his career, I think it's going to be really interesting to see Kyler in Minnesota. I'm not going to write him off immediately, like at all. I do think that he was playing under some not the greatest circumstances in Arizona, because really for a minute in that offense, like it seems like the only guy that he really had to throw to was Trey McBride. Which McBride was a rookie last year? This year? Last year. And then like MHJ hasn't fully lived up to the hype yet. And really outside of that, like who has he really had to throw to? You know what I mean? Like I am excited.
Did he play with Larry?
To see maybe
No,
1
he was
year.
right after.
No.
He was
I'm
right
not
after.
completely-
Yeah, because Larry retired in 18. I'm not writing him off at all.
I'm not completely writing him off. I do hope he does flourish with the Minnesota Vikings. I fear his time is limited in his talent. The way he plays, I don't see him completing the season.
That's what I mean.
But my biggest concern with Kyler Murray is Kevin O'Connell's offense. It basically dictates, hey, stay in the pocket, don't throw outside the numbers, be a game manager. And Kyler Murray is, for what he is, a playmaker, whether he's a good one or not. Kyler Murray likes to play on the run and throw outside the numbers. So we are giving Kevin O'Connell a quarterback that he hasn't really dealt with. I thought a better option the Vikings could have done was trade for Mac Jones. That would have been a good option for them.
See, and that's something that I was surprised didn't happen this offseason, was that nobody thought about picking up the phone for old mac and cheese.
I just want the Dr. JJ and Mr. Nuts to live on.
Someone in my chat is saying, like, as a fan, they can't bail on JJ. Given that this was JJ's first year starting, because again, you got to remember, he was injured all of his rookie season. Like, we saw him in one preseason game. I'm not fully out on JJ. I thought he played better in the last 2 or 3 games, even if it still wasn't perfect. I am willing to let JJ at least play out at least year 4 of his rookie deal and see what you got. And if it's nothing, then you let him go.
He reminds me a lot of Josh Rosen. JJ McCarthy isn't a good quarterback. He is, when you have a quarterback whose highest yards is 150, and you have an offensive guru like Kevin O'Connell, you have weapons like Justin Jefferson, and I can't remember the other receiver. They had weapons. It's not like he was on the Titans with nobody weapons and barely throwing $120.
Yeah, but the running game was
They had Mason. They had Aaron Jones. They had studs there. They're not great, but you've seen the receiving core. He's terrible, and it's like, oh, we have to wait to see people develop. Sam Darnold showed flashes in New York. But he was dealing with Adam Gase and Todd Bowles, and Todd Bowles is a terrible coach. Then you deal with Mac Jones, who had when he had an offensive coordinator, they went to the playoffs. Then Bill Belichick thought he was smarter than everybody else and had defensive coordinators playing offensive coordinator. So they literally had Matt Patricia beat offensive coordinator when he's defensive. And they had Daniel Jones, who did go to the playoffs with the New York Giants, and their contingency plan for Sam Darnold leaving was banking on Daniel Jones staying, but Daniel Jones went to the Colts. And so, like with JJ McCarthy, he hasn't shown any flashes like Sam Darnold, and I would have loved to see them traded for Will Levis from Tennessee. Will Levis has potential. It's just Brian Callahan was a terrible coach, so realistically, it's just I don't see the JJ McCarthy experiment is gone. It's gone, and they've had 2 years to realize that, hey, this guy ain't it, and why.
Well, McCarthy was hurt for all of 2024.
McCarthy's not got a chance to develop. McCarthy's not got a chance to play.
He has 10 career games.
It don't matter.
It does. He's got to get a chance to develop. He's got a chance to play a full NFL season to develop as a quarterback.
I do want to throw this in as well. In his final 4 games, he had a touchdown to interception ratio, which, Granted, still not the greatest thing in the world, but it was still a visual and tangible improvement over the start of the season for him. Had a 5 touchdown to 2 interception stretch. Didn't have a game with multiple interceptions in that stretch. And he has thrown for more than 150 yards. He did have 2 games over the season. He had 248 and 250. He had 182 in week 17, 18. We have seen over the course of the last couple of seasons, as some of these cast-off quarterbacks have kind of come back and rewritten the narrative. Sam Darnold's the most recent example here. Daniel Jones to start the year. JJ needs a little bit more time in the oven. What's up, Bok Joy?
If McCarthy can develop, he can become a good quarterback. You just can't dump him off of 10 games. You can't just dump him for his performance just of 10 games.
That's where I'm going to leave JJ. That's my piece on McCarthy.
That's like getting someone straight out of college, him playing only 10 games total, and then dumping him because he didn't immediately take it to a Super Bowl.
Because this was essentially his rookie season.
I don't agree with it. Like, okay, in his last he played 10 games.
You're not going to give him the rookie. You're not going to give him he was a rookie this year.
Not with Max Brosmer and Carson Wentz are playing better than him.
Max Brosmer playing better?
Brosmer did not play better football.
I don't know.
Oh my dude!
Look at him.
So, hold on.
JJ Wentz.
They went 6-4 with JJ, but hold on. They did not win because of him. They won in spite of him.
There was few games that they won because of him.
Max Brosmer is going to be the new Tim Boyle. My guy threw no touchdowns to 4 picks in seven games in 2 starts.
But I'm looking at
Max Brosmer did not play better than JJ.
I'm looking at the performance right now. He had 11 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. That's terrible. They won. That defense was elite. With Brian Flores, who should be the head coach. The only reason why he's not is because he's currently suing the NFL. But they went 6-4. Granted, they won, but that was in spite of.
I'd barely argue that Wentz played much better.
Again, the problem is you can't write JJ McCarthy off of just 10 games. That was like taking someone straight out of college, saying you got 10 games to get us to the Super Bowl, and if you don't, we're firing you. You can't.
I don't.
What's wrong with him?
All right, I'm looking at his.
You're not willing to give him time to develop?
He needs time.
It's not even time. It's not even time to.
Sinman's telling me not to slander Tim Boyle. We are all for Tim Boyle was simply a bag getter. All right, I don't know what. I don't know what about Tim Boyle has kept him playing. But like, good Lord. Well, and here's the thing, Don. Like, I don't even think that highly of JJ. Like, this isn't as someone that thinks that JJ is going to be a Hall of Famer if you give him a year or two to develop.
No, he's not going to be a Hall of Famer by no means.
You still barely know what you have.
He's only played 10 games. He hasn't even played a full season yet. Give him a chance.
I'm pretty sure Josh Rosen got more run.
He had a chance
to develop.
He didn't even get to develop chemistry with Justin Jefferson.
He's not had. He's only 22. He's not had a chance to play a full season worth of games. That's like expecting. Again, I keep coming back to it. Someone coming off of college and expecting them to be a playoff caliber quarterback within 10 games. It's not going to happen.
And then here's the thing: Rosen got more run in Arizona just to play marginally worse. Same amount of touchdowns. Rosen threw more picks with only 3 more games on his ledger. Like, Rosen got more run, remained in the NFL for another couple of seasons. Like, you can't just entirely throw the guy out.
You have to, when you have. Oh my! So I'm looking at his stats. Okay, whenever he was the quarterback, they only had 2 games that they went over 35% or 36% on third down. They were literally the first game, 25% on third down conversion, 36.4 on third down conversion, 33.3%.
Because they only played 10 games with them. He has to take a chance to learn.
Now we, okay. let's see this. We are in a Super Bowl window. We are in contention. So as an
Are
offense,
the
like,
Vikings in the Super Bowl window?
they went 14-3 and went all the way down to 9-8.
I'm sorry.
So
In no world are you going to have a rookie quarterback coming off injury who's only played 10 games make it into a Super Bowl window.
So if we're talking in NFL, and whenever we are literally just went 14-3, and our quarterback that we had go all the way to the Super Bowl and win, and now you're settled with JJ McCarthy and be like, oh, everything's fine. Nah, they screwed up. Everybody was saying keep Sam Darnold,
But
keep
you can't
Sam
say
Darnold.
they screwed up. JJ McCarthy is
They did
barely
screw this.
playing.
They did screw. What do you mean? So I'd much rather have a guy who is what is top 5 worst quarterback, or I'd be like, oh, he's learning. But when I had the quarterback who just went to the Super Bowl win the Super Bowl, I'll be like, hey, it is what it is. At least we have our quarterback who's developing. No, I'm going to get rid of you and try to win this game because this is the worst decision we've ever made. And I'm sorry, their GM was great to get fired. And if they keep JJ McCarthy and say everything's fine, Kevin O'Connell, how great he is, you deserve to get fired too.
My thing
Like,
is,
this
if the
is so
Vikings
terrible.
fire JJ McCarthy after 10 games, no free agent's ever going to want to sign with them because they know that they will never get a chance to develop under the Vikings.
I
Like
don't
that,
understand
they
at
have
all.
such a short leash. Okay, so going back to last offseason, and this is going to be the last thing that I say about JJ because I still have a gaming stream that I got to get to at some point. But my last thing that I want to say about JJ, the initial plan when they let go of Darnold, because when they let him go, you got to think that was his best year that he had ever had coming off of his year with the Vikings. There was no idea whether or not he was going to replicate that. Now, in hindsight, where we can look through the time machine with that hindsight, it was an idiotic move for the Vikings not to keep Darnold. I'll give you that. The rationale was we have no idea if Sam Darnold is going to replicate this. We can either put up the money that the Seahawks are going to put up for him with no guarantee that he will repeat this, or we can see what we got in a kid that we invested a first-round pick in. That I'm not saying that it was the correct rationale. And again, we have a whole other season now to look back and say, wow, the Vikings shouldn't have done that. But at the time, the rationale was going to be hey, let's see what we have in a quarterback that we drafted in the top 32. Again, not saying it's the right move.
Are you willing?
But with a first round pick, you have to see what you have. 10 games is not enough to see what you have.
The thing is,
And
looking back at it,
that's the last thing
wrong
I'm
for
saying
getting rid of
about
Sam
that.
Darnold. But you can't write off JJ McCarthy with just 10 games of stats underneath your belt.
Why are you trying to write him off already?
Okay. In that case, let's put your guys' logic to this. Okay? The Niners traded 3 first-rounders to get Trey Lance.
Ooh.
To get Trey Lance, they went the Vikings drafted JJ McCarthy at 12. The Niners literally traded 3 draft picks to get up to number 2. And they could have easily, the same argument could be made for Trey Lance. Oh, they didn't give him a chance to develop. Yeah, he got injured. He literally only had 2 games under his belt. And the Niners got rid of him because they knew they had a better prospect in Brock Purdy. Granted, they got lucky on it, but it doesn't matter if they played 2 games, 10 games, or whatever. If you know what you have and you know you're in a win now type of situation with the talent they have, because they have JJ on a rookie contract. They can sign everybody. I don't want to wait. And I'm paying Kyler Murray veteran minimum? Absolutely. Like this, you get rid of that player if you don't sit and wait for them to get a chance. It's either you show up now with all the talent. I've seen rookie quarterbacks with way less talent show more than what J.J. McCarthy did. And I understand Jaden Daniels and C.J. Stroud in their rookie years were different. But if you put Bo Nix or if you put Jackson Dart in there or you put any other talent in there, they're going to overperform. We saw what Jackson Dart did with the Giants with nobodies. We saw what Cam Ward did with nobodies, and they were competent players. Even though they had limited weapons, they showed flashes of being great. J.J. McCarthy hasn't showed 1 ounce with J.J. McCarthy, with Jason or what Jay Jettas. you've seen them succeed. You even seen, let's bring it back, DeAndre what's the receiver for the Texans have zero
D-Hop.
quarterbacks, and D-Hop overperform having no quarterbacks. You saw Andre Johnson with no quarterbacks overperform. Justin Jefferson, who's a legendary receiver, couldn't even perform with with JJ McCarthy, and you got to get rid of him. You don't have, you know what you have right there when you're in a Super Bowl contender. You're not a bottom team like the Titans, the Giants. You don't have time to wait for them to develop. You are going to win now. So
The point here.
if you're going to win now, you don't have time to wait for the quarterback to develop. You got to win now, because with the Vikings, they went to the playoffs with Christian Ponder, they had to go on an MVP season with Adrian Peterson. It's a circle. Like, when you're in a win now, you can't wait any longer, because players are gonna get older and coordinators are gonna leave. That's literally Andy Reid was an all-time great coach with the Eagles. They got rid of him after he had that bad season. They got rid of Carson Wentz, even though he just tore off his ACL, and went to Jalen Hurts, even though I could remember the Eagles fan base was killing Howie Roseman, but he made the decision to get rid of him because they knew what they had in Carson Wentz. So it's like, if you're in a win now, you don't have time to wait for players to develop. You have to get rid of them, because people are going to get older. We all know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. Miles, you saw Bo Nix get injured. Your guys' season was over. TJ, you guys have a legendary team. You guys didn't have an offensive coordinator. You guys lost. The Titans, they went to the AFC Championship but didn't have a quarterback, and they lost to the Chiefs in 2020. It's literally, and they never went back. That's the thing. It's so hard for teams to go back to the Super Bowl that I don't care how much time we have to get JJ McCarthy. I understand we need time for him to develop, but the Vikings are in a win now. We can't wait for that. They don't have the luxury of waiting, because players are going to get older. And that's all I'll say.
With McCarthy is he needs a chance to develop and learn. It was stupid for them to make McCarthy their starter. Yes, that was stupid. They needed someone for McCarthy to sit behind and develop.
Now they don't have that.
They don't have that now. That was stupid. But you can't sit there and give up on McCarthy, because he showed a lot of promise in college. When he played for Michigan, he went for 72% completion rate. He threw for 2,000, almost 3,000 yards, and it was 22 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He was damn good in college.
A lot of college quarterbacks don't really pan out.
But it shows he has talent, and he just needs a chance to develop that talent.
I want to run this one hypothetical real quick, okay? Before we get out of here, and before I shut this down, I am going to give you the numbers of a random quarterback through 10 games. I got to do the math real quick on this one, but this will be through 10 games. So that is 2, 3, 4. That is.
I'm seeing both points though.
6 touchdowns to 2.
If you get rid of JJ McCarthy after 10 games, no other free agent is going to want to play for you, because no starting out people, nobody who's just developing is going to want to play with you, because they know that you have no chance to develop, because they are going to expect you to be Super Bowl caliber as soon as you join.
That was their mistake, is letting quarterbacks go, and that was the Vikings' decision.
They should not have let they shouldn't let their quarterback go. They should have got JJ McCarthy, let him sit behind, and develop.
Okay, I have the math ready. I'm ready to run this last hypothetical. Would you, through 10 games, give this quarterback any more run? 1,954 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, without a name. Would you give this quarterback more run after 10 games?
Can you give us stats one more time?
6 touchdowns, 6 picks, 1,954 yards through 10 games. Would you give that quarterback more run using your logic?
Okay, so I believe context is everything. Not because right now I'm leading no. If they're a playoff caliber team, no. If they're a rookie on a bad team, then yes. But it's all context. It's not apples to apples.
So if JJ got drafted to a bad team, you'd
Would
be
he-
a little bit.
For me, would he be a
Yes, I
starter?
would.
No, I would have him as a secondary backup to develop more, but he would not be a starter.
I think you guys are higher on the Vikings as a team than I am, because I outside of Jay Jettas, I don't love their offense. And I think defensively, I think they're a little bit in flux. I think their secondary was god awful this season. The quarterback that I brought up was Cam Ward.
Which I knew that, yeah.
I get that it's not clear apples to apples, but I just don't think. And you saw this firsthand this season. The 10 games is not enough of a sample size to give up on a quarterback, because look at what he did over the back half of the season. I get that Cam Ward might be an objectively better quarterback, but I think over a 10, I don't think it's fair to give up on a guy on a 10-game sample, no matter the situation he's in, whether he's a rookie on a shit team.
Not only is this a 10-game sample, this is a 10-game sample coming off an injury.
That as well.
That is.
Which
And
you
that is-
yourself said, a quarterback who comes off an injury is playing 50% worse than what they should.
But we also
that's
see
too.
here, but we also gotta realize the context of what Cam Ward went to. With the first 10, he dealt with Brian Callahan, who was a terrible coach, who got fired after 4 games, and having to learn a second offensive system with having no talent. And on the first time, got it. You don't give up on him. There were same Titans fans who were saying, "Oh, we need to get rid of him. He's a bust." I saw that during it. But like I said, with Cam Ward in the back nine, is he's interception to touchdown ratio was great.
He was damn good over the back half of the season.
And that's with no talent. But with JJ, he had his time to he had a pretty good offensive line. His average time to throw was 12th ranked in the league. So it's not like he was running around scrambling and not having any help, or didn't have a receiver who could create separation, or didn't have a barely competent run game. Yeah, they weren't great, but they had something. So it's like, okay, asking a kid who is struggling, who's single parent, asking them who's growing out the projects, hey, you got to have the same, even though a kid who's living in the rich, who has all the tools to succeed, you can't compare them because they're in 2 different environments. If there's no control, if you were to put them in the same environment, you see who's better, who isn't. JJ McCarthy isn't that guy. And I'm not saying, if he was on the Arizona Cardinals, I would say, yeah, give him maybe 1 or 2 more years, because we all saw with Bryce Young. Bryce Young for the first 3 years looked terrible, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Hit the wrong button.
But with Bryce Young, under some talent, under learning, getting benched and actually learning from it, he succeeds. So I'm not writing JJ McCarthy off, that he's not going to be a good quarterback. All I'm saying is the Vikings right now isn't the team for him to really develop and learn, because they don't have the luxury of waiting, because they've just fired their GM. And usually what happens afterwards, if they don't perform the next season, usually the team winds up firing the head coach. It's like, hey, our jobs are on the line. We don't have time to bank on this quarterback to develop. That's my only thing. If he was, like I said, if he was on any lower team, I would say be on the same fence as you guys. Give him time to develop. But with the Vikings, the way they are right now, and how
So you're high on the Vikings.
I am. They went 9-8 with 3 different quarterbacks. I'm a lot higher with them. Granted, most of those wins did come from JJ, but I see that in spite of him, not because of him.
I think that's a pretty good place to leave this off. What do you guys think?
That was a good argument. I would love to talk more about JJ sometime.
That might have to be something that we brush on next week.
My final thoughts on JJ is I need more of a sample size before I can say anything definitive on him.
I'm in the middle.
Say maybe I approach my young quarterbacks a little old school, but I am certainly give them. And again, you do bring up the point that the Vikings are definitely in a win now mode, because I do think that you are a lot higher on them than I am for sure. But yeah, I don't have much more to say. Final points.
I think Kyler in front of him will be a good thing.
And I see with the Colts, and like the only reason why I bring up the Colts is if we all seen them with a competent quarterback, they are a very, very good. They could easily win the conference, but they even gave up on Anthony Richardson, who's the same age as JJ McCarthy. So it's like
I forget how young
The problem with Anthony
he's
Richardson
23.
is he's injury prone, can't stay healthy, and when you tap yourself out in the middle of the game when you are healthy, that's when you start losing favor points.
And we use the same argument with JJ though. Is he's never healthy since they drafted him. He's old for 2 years. There's 32 games. Out of those 32 games, he was only available for 10.
Yeah, he has played less than a third.
So it's the same thing.
Some of that was from being benched, though. I think like he was hurt for a good chunk of the year, but a few of those were from being benched.
Yes, but
And
in
with
those 10
Anthony
games
Richardson-
that JJ McCarthy started and played in, he never once tapped himself out, did he?
No, but his performance tapped him out though. And so, and with Anthony Richardson, I believe Anthony Richardson is only 23, but if you give him like 4 years of development, let's say with Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell, or any other like offensive guru, I do see him being a starter in this league. He's just really young. And same thing with JJ. Any other team, he could get a chance to develop. But I just think right now where the Vikings are at, where he doesn't have that pressure on him. Because when we see the pressure is off, like Daniel Jones, with Mac Jones, with Darnold, when the pressure's off and they actually have that ability to develop, that's when they're able to succeed. And I think that's what JJ needs, but he isn't going to get that in Minnesota.
See, now this is where the nuances of things like bringing up Anthony Richardson. In 2024, Anthony Richardson started for the Colts. Anthony Richardson threw 8 touchdowns to 12 interceptions and only threw 1,000 yards for the 11 games he played.
That's a wild stat.
JJ McCarthy did the same thing.
11
games, 11
JJ
touchdowns, 12
McCarthy in 10
interceptions.
games has thrown more than Anthony Richardson did. And the 11 games he had.
We're really gonna run this thing.
But I know Miles has to go to his gaming stream, and my wife.
Yeah, I got some stuff
We did this for 3 hours.
ready.
We'll do this
Yes,
next
sir.
week.
Yeah. So next week we'll touch on the NFC. Perhaps there will be some more developments in the AFC that we'll kind of breeze over during that stream. But for what we got, thank you all so much for watching. You guys, I mean it's been fun. It's been a great night. Huge shout again. Go check them out in the description. Trent, Ender with Hoosier Sports Talk, Anthony with Music City Air, myself. If you're new to any of our channels, don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps us out immensely in the algorithm. And yeah, we'll see you next Friday night for another edition of Four Corners. Have yourselves a wonderful night over on YouTube. And with that being said, I have been Miles. Who's everybody else?
Trent.
Anthony.
And
And we will see you all in the next one. Peace out.